West, y'all.
So did you say you were seen them before? You obviously knew each other in a previous life.
Now, when you walked in the door, I was like, man, I've seen you somewhere before.
Sure, I've seen this guy, yeah.
And you said the same thing too.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, bro.
And, I know you sing, so I thought it must be Opal then.
Yeah, nah, that's... honestly, yeah. That was a while ago, but yeah.
It's over a decade almost.
Yeah, it is, bro. That's when I used to just... I was a real loner too, bro, to be honest. Like, I used to just literally go to Opal on my own. I used to go see an uncle in the city. He'd give me some cash, and I'd just go sing and get on it, and then walk back down to Queen Street where I used to stay.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Man.
Because, I'm not really a singer, so I used to go down for fun. But then...
Yeah.
I think all my friends were into karaoke, but they're not singers, but into karaoke.
Karaoke's fun.
It's a fun thing to do, eh?
Yeah, totally, bro.
Like just practice and all that. Well, not practice, but just
have a good time.
Just have a good time, man.
Yeah.
And like I remember before when I first heard about karaoke when I was back in the day.
Yeah.
Like always think, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
It's like embarrassing and all that.
Yes.
But once you get on, you can't get off, eh?
Nah, bro. Yeah, exactly, bro. That adrenaline too, eh? And especially if you got your peeps with you too, hyping you up, bro. Just on the road, bro. It's good fun.
It's the feel of music, though, eh?
Yeah, bro.
That's what music does.
Exactly.
Because it's like, especially with karaoke, because these songs, obviously the songs you love, we all love. We sing in the shower or sing in the car.
Yeah.
When no one's around. But the thought of singing it in front of people in karaoke scares anyone, eh? Especially people like, that just love to sing, just love the songs, but never thought of going on stage or anything. But karaoke is something different, eh? Like you can drink and be a little bit tipsy and do it.
Yeah.
Get the courage to do it. But then it's something else, eh? It's something, like I said before, you jump on, you can't get off for some reason, eh?
Exactly. And your crew hypes you up, and it's sort of like really laxed as well. Like, you don't have the pressure of trying to sound or be like the singer, even though I know some people try to, but you just get on and you're like, bro, I have fun, and just have a good time, bro. And, take my moment sort of thing.
Yeah. So were you Bars of the Stars guy?
Sorry?
Were you frequent Bars of the Stars back in the day?
Nah, honestly, no. I honestly didn't really know anything about that sort of stuff. I literally I don't know how I stumbled upon it, but just got into karaoke through a teacher of mine when I was at Kelston.
Yeah.
They suggested I enter a karaoke competition.
Yeah.
Teacher, what was it by the name? Mrs. Mackey.
Oh, nice.
Yes, she's like, hey, I think you should
Sharon,
jump on. Yeah, she is awesome, man. She's like, hey, I think you should give it a go. I think you'd be really awesome. And so then I went, competed, and I honestly can't remember, but I think I was...
You would have been the first season of Homai Te Pakipaki.
Yes. Then that followed. Yeah, that followed as well.
So before that?
Before that was the, what is that place again? Point Chev RSA.
Oh,
that was my
It's still going. Karaoke is still going there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good spot, man. So that was my debut.
Was it like a pub competition sort of thing, like a Raza?
Yeah. So they realized that I could sing and stuff like that. So they were like, hey, I think you should enter it. So the teacher at the time, who was the international teacher, Miss Mala, she was awesome, man. She was like, hey, I'll take you down to it. You can compete and give it a go. So yeah, I just competed. And it was good fun, eh? Like, got some good critique, competed against some real cool singers as well, and yeah, I was just fortunate. I think I was fortunate to win it in the end. Lucky, because there's some really good singers, man. Like, there's some really, really good singers. So yeah, I was just really blessed, bro. And then after that, I think one of the boys that was in the first 15.
Yeah.
One of the twins. I think it was Hona and Ramika. They were like, hey. And then some of them, a couple of the Modi boys, they're like, hey, Roland sings. The import sings. And they're like, Frankie, you sing something. And then I was just singing in between I think we're doing our yo-yo or beep test, which I wasn't any good at. And then, so I started singing, and then I think it was Ash Hadawada. I think his brother plays for was it Canberra? Oh no, yeah, we plays in the NRL. He was like, "Hey, bro, you should enter. You should join Homai." And I was like, "What's that?" He's like, "Oh, it's this karaoke competition. I think you'd do really well on it." So him and another mate called Tala, Rewiti, they were like, bro, you should jump on. And then I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll give it a go. Nothing to lose. Just
So you were still at school?
Huh?
Were you still at school?
Yeah, I was still at school.
Oh,
Yeah, I was still at school, meant to be doing the first 15 training, like the wider squad training, And then in between one of the breaks, just started singing something, and then the boys heard, and then just sort of went on from there. Which is yeah.
So at that time, like, you had no inkling of doing it, like doing it as a
profession?
as a professional or something, like at that time.
At that time, not really. I guess. So I used to sing in the islands, so I grew up singing in church, and then I joined a covers band when I was like 15, and then got the opportunity to come play rugby for Kelston with a scholarship there. And so that was sort of like in the back of my mind. Like I was like, maybe I'll pick it up later. Let's do the rugby thing. And so rugby was really at the forefront, you know.
So what got Kelston to pick you to get the scholarship? How does that all work?
Bro, it was honestly so funny, man. So at the time, my mum was overseas.
What year is this? What year is this?
I think it's like 08, so 2008. So 2008, my mom's away she was in Australia. She was getting like treatment and stuff done, cancer treatment, getting that all sorted. So for me, I was back in Fiji at high school and stuff. But at the end of every year, towards the end of the year, high schools from New Zealand, they come over and they bring, they look for rugby players from Fiji. So you had New Plymouth Boys, Rotorua Boys, Wesley College, all these other schools. So I had applied for all these different schools, and Rotorua had an offer, New Plymouth had an offer. But yeah, so Kelston, it wasn't one of those that, that actually had seen me play rugby. Funnily enough, I had actually gotten suspended probably a couple weeks. Yeah, a couple of weeks I got suspended for fighting in a rugby game.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
Perfect fitting.
Perfect fit. And then Kelston brings their team down, and Athens, he brings the under 16s at the
Shout
time.
out to Athens,
man. That he's amazing, eh? And so he saw me walking around doing training. So I got, funnily enough, I was the captain of my team. And I got suspended for fighting, because one of my wingers was getting roughed up on the side. I'd been subbed off. And so I tried to run on to, jump into his defense. And then, I got the captaincy stripped of me. I wasn't playing for like a month. So anyways, Athens sees me walking past while they're playing against our school team. And the Athens goes, hey, you're a pretty big boy. Do you play rugby? And I was like, yeah, I play. And then he was like, oh yeah, how come you're not playing? And then I was just like, oh nah, yeah, just injured. I'm injured. And he goes, oh really? And he goes, oh man, yeah, man, we'd love to have you come over. But at the time, like I wasn't the focus. Like he wasn't focusing on me. There were two other players that they'd actually focused on. Yeah, and that they wanted. But when he came back to New Zealand, there was a Fijian family that was staying in New Zealand, and they knew me because I used to play in the team with their son. So then they said, hey, are you able to reach out to him and ask if he'd be keen to come over on a rugby scholarship to come to New Zealand? And so mum was away at the time getting her treatment done. But while she's doing this, I'm in the works trying to get my stuff sorted to gap it, and try my hand at playing some footy, in New Zealand. So they offered me a half scholarship to come over, which was a blessing in itself. And then came over, and then the rest is history, man. And then I realized, I thought I was a good rugby player in the islands, and I came here. I was like, oh yeah, you're all right, but you got to get your fitness up first. Yeah. But so that's pretty much how it all kicked off. Like Athens seen me, gave me the opportunity. And I was just keen to take it with both hands and run with it. Eh?
So when your mum was over here, was she in Auckland too, as well?
Yes, yeah. So when she'd, you mean when she was getting treatment and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So she was in Australia. Sorry, she was in Australia getting treatment done there, and I was just back in Fiji with my sister and my family. So yeah, she was in Australia. I think she was like in Brisbane or something like that. So when she heard everything that was taking place, she was like, "Whoa, you really been moving? Like you getting stuff done?" And I was like, "Yeah, nah, I really want to." And because I was the only son, I had other opportunities as well. So I had a mate that was playing in Australia, and we played rep footy together, high school footy against each other. And he reached out to me and said, hey, my coach is looking for a number 8/number 6 loose head that you can come and play here. But my mum was like, nah, I don't want you to go there. And it was for Ipswich Grammar, one of the schools there. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I was really gutted because I wanted to, eh? And then I had an uncle from my mom's side, her African American side, who lives in San Francisco, and he was like, "Hey, I want him to come over here. I want him to come play." Yeah, I was like, "I want him to come and play American football here," you know. And my mom was like, "Nah, he's not doing it. I'm not allowing him to do it." And so I was really gutted. So her being away sort of allowed me the opportunity to go, hey, this is what I want to do.
Man, look how that worked out.
And it worked out. Yeah, exactly, bro.
You know, and talking about a bit of the American football, is there any Fijians over there playing NFL? I don't think I've seen any.
Yeah, I'm honestly not too familiar. I think there probably are some, maybe that are still on the come up, maybe. But I know there's like, you know, a lot of like Tongan Samoans that are over there, you know, that are killing it. But no, I'm not too sure. Yeah, I don't think so. Not that I know.
Right? There's always got to be a Fijian flag in a NFL game somewhere.
Yeah, so they're probably there. Yeah, they're probably there, but I'm just not as clued on. And it's funny also because I had an uncle, so my mom's first cousin, who wanted me to come over. His brother, he was older, younger brother, was about to go pro.
Right.
He was about to go pro, and his wife at the time, I think her dad wasn't too keen because she was fearful that he might get hurt and stuff. It was like this massive, you know, part Tongan, part African American guy that could have just, you know, done well, but he didn't make anything of it. So yeah.
And you were in such a lucky, it's an amazing position you were in that time because talk about a fork in the road. And these forks would, you know, you either go to Australia, go to Kelston, or go to the States. And who knows where those will take you away. Like you would be a different person right now, maybe. Yeah,
definitely. Life would have, you know, turned out differently, for sure.
That's valuable.
Yeah, and it's funny that, you know, so I was at sort of like a crossroads because there's so many opportunities. But I guess on the other side as well, I was sort of like a bit of a, maybe like a dark sort of place in my life. Like I was obviously doing the covers thing, doing secular music at high school. So I'd come to high school, go to my class or whatever it was, go to my lessons, and in one of the periods I'd get a text from one of the bands that I was, one other band that I was in, and he'd go, "Hey bro, we got a gig today, 3 hours. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Fiji, but we got a gig in Nandi at a resort there at the Sheraton. We'll come pick you up." And so I was like, "Oh, sweet." Then I'd go and be like, "Oh, I'm sick. I need to go home, go do this gig." And so I was gigging throughout the week, throughout the weekends. Quite heavily involved in, like, you know, drinking and drugs and all that sort of stuff. So I think the opportunity for Kelston was like was a real saving grace, and it got me out of that sort of lifestyle.
Amazing,
wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was massive. Definitely meant to be.
So you come to Kelston. What was your first year like getting into the groove of things and all that?
Getting into the groove of things. Man, honestly, it was really awesome, eh? Well, I was quite fortunate at the time that when we came in, we were called the imports, you know? We were the imports, and I came over, honestly, other guys I came with, they were like amazing rugby players, really, really good rugby players, solid guys. But two of them, we actually went to high school together in Fiji. When we came over, like, we already had that bond. And then the guy that joined us, there was, you know, another bond that was there, you know, and we're really tight. And then just the Kelston community was awesome, man. Like, the boys just really got around us and just supported us, you know, like whether it was in training or whether it was at lunch times, you know, it was just really tight, which was really cool, you know, especially when you're coming from, you know, you're leaving everything you know, everyone you love to come into foreign territory. You know, you're coming in and you're sort of like the underdog, you know, and you're trying to stake your claim, you know. It was awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I embraced it because I think I was really keen for the change as well. But what it did, though, allow me to have to do was really be conscious and wise with the decisions I was making, you know, because I didn't have my parents here. You know, they could, you know, my mom here, sorry. They could tell me to do this or do that, but it was up to me at the end of the day to make the decision. But it was awesome. I loved it. Kelston was awesome, man. And it was like, in a nutshell, for me, it was like, because my high school brotherhood was massive. So I went to Marist Brothers High School. We were tight, like, you know, boys. And then when I came to Kelston, it was as if I never left my high school because Kelston again was tight, and the brotherhood, you know what I mean? Like you can be Samoan, Tongan, Fijian, whatever it is, Filipino, Asian, you know, but it was tight, you know, and so it didn't feel like I had left something that I was familiar with.
So how old were you then? Your first year in Kelston?
Oh man, 08. When I first came, 09, sorry. I was about 17, just about to turn 18.
Oh.
Yeah, so 17, I turned 18 in March.
So straight into first 15?
Yeah, we did preseason. We did preseason. We we rubbed shoulders with some of the boys from here, you know, which was cool too. And then did a bit of time with the first 15, mainly on the fringes though, you know, because I think for me, if I can be really honest, like I said before, like the beep tests and yo-yo tests were not my favorite, you know, so I think that's probably something that affected my game, but did a bit of stuff with the first 15, and we were able to go down to like, I think it was Hastings and play against them, and that was really cool. That was an awesome thing to be able to do. And then mainly, a lot of my time, to be honest, was spent with like the seconds, the second 15, that was where I spent a lot of my time. But yeah, had some fierce battles with the first 15, you know, and played against some awesome guys, man. Real solid guys, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, bro.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing, bro. Just in that opening passage that you've just delivered.
Yeah.
Like how your life has just changed. Like, and that was in your hands to sort of navigate where you're going to go, you know?
Exactly. You know, and I guess for me, like I said, you know, with having just like, because I grew up in a single parent background, like not many people know that, you know. So I grew up in a single parent home. My mom worked extremely hard, you know. She tried to provide for my sister and I. My dad, he was a drug lord back in Fiji, a big time one too. So my earliest memory, like I didn't get to meet him, until I was like probably the age of 7, right? And then and then I saw him bits and pieces through primary. Because funnily enough, I had a brother who was the same age as me that went to the primary school that I went to, you know, and so my dad put him in the primary school, so I'd see dad around, he'd come and, you know, give me money and stuff like that. But so I grew up, you know, not really with a father figure, you know. I had an awesome uncle who I looked up to, who I'm also named after. But I was just...
Your mom's brother?
Yeah, my mom's brother, so my mom's younger brother. So he was pretty much sort of like that template of what I needed to be, but still, you know, it's nothing like having a father there. So I didn't really have a father to show me, hey, do this, do that, don't do this, you know, you got to be this. And so I guess just in some instances I had to figure it out on my own, but also base it off the good influences that I did have. And then I guess fast forward, mom got married. The dude she married wasn't the best, man. Like he was really a very, very insecure man who was very physically abusive and verbally abusive. So, you know, like verbal and physical abuse was a daily thing. You know, it was a big thing at home, you know. But the funny thing for me was I went from being in a loving Christian home to then being in this environment where, you know, a vulnerable moment, if that's all right, like where you're like seeing your mom getting beaten for the first time and you're going, whoa, okay, what am I meant to do? This is foreign. I've seen it on TV, I've seen it in movies, but this is happening here. What can I do? What
and that's
do I
on
do?
your safe space too, you know?
Yeah, exactly,
So
bro.
What do you do?
What do I do? And so I was like, I was a 10-year-old at the time, 10-year-old. And yeah, just the abuse, they were together for like probably like 8 years on and off, you know, and so I'd seen all of that happening. And I think over time, it just, for me, it really built up a lot of anger and resentment.
Yeah.
Which in turn, when Athens had come,
Yeah.
you know, and thought that I was injured, I think, and not using it as an excuse, but I think because I needed an outlet to get all this anger and frustration out. So footy was that for me. Rugby was that for me. But then it was a matter of, was that being the outlet? Is it going to be an outlet in a healthy way? Or is it going to be unhealthy? You know, am I going to just fly off the handle? Or am I going to be really measured and controlled? And so in some instances I had that on lock, some instances I didn't. And then it cost me, you know.
But it got you here.
It got me here. Yeah, definitely, man. It got me here. And yeah, just learnings. Just loads of learnings, man. But yeah, that was sort of my life. And then I think when I was probably in like the 4th form, I did this one gig in Fiji at this really well-known nightclub. And then we gig at this nightclub, and there's a bit of a scuffle incident with mom and her husband at the time, and so I'm just like really embarrassed because it's that time at the clubs when the lights come on, and then you're packing up your gear, and then they're having a little issue here, and I'm going, oh, are you serious? Right in front of like this is sort of my also another safe space, where I do my craft. And so that's probably like the first time I stood up to my mom's husband. So I struck him, like I full on swing at him, and I think he was really shocked too. And then again the abuse continued. And then in the 5th form, he'd hit mom again after another night out. And so I gave him a hiding that day, and he put him in hospital. And then mom was like, stop, dude. And I think for me that was it. Like I knew I needed to get out of it because just wasn't a healthy space to be in, like mentally, emotionally. But all of this was masked, like no one knew. Yeah.
Oof, man, now thanks for sharing that. Like you're sitting there with a smile on your face talking about it, and it's like, because me, like I can't fathom what you experienced because my parents were never, they were never like that.
Yeah.
So, man, just hearing your story just then, like I'm so shocked. Your biological dad was a drug lord. Even I was like, hey, what the hell?
Bro, everyone knew him, Like, so to give you an example, so when there would be fights that would happen with our high school and another high school, right? Our high school and another high school would have a fight. His boys, I kid you not, be around the bus depot. So as I'm walking, and I never knew this, like, and as I'm walking to go buy me something to eat or drink, and then one of his boys will just come up and be like, hey, Bula brother. And I'm like, hey, Bula. And he goes, are you, because my dad's street name was Nimax. And he's like, are you Nimax, son? And I was like, yeah. How do you know? And he goes, man, you look like him. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then I'm like, who are you again? And he goes, no, just one of his boys. And then he said, you all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm all good. And then he'd be like, okay, if there's any trouble, I'll be over here. Then another one's over there. So they were like, you know when you see movies, right? And then you got the people, like security guards or, the hitmen that are just like around. And so that was, and for me, like it didn't make me feel safe and secure, like, because I think I wasn't used to it. And I never had that, like growing up. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, man. Like, all right, you guys are going to be there. And so I walk past and they were like, Bula. Then they were like, hey, you look like your dad. And I'm like, oh, cool, you probably know more of how he looks like than me. Yeah. And then, anyways, no, so that was like my experience in like later, probably like year 8, going into high school. And so my brother came, we played footy together. He was awesome. But yeah, that was my experience, bro. Like having a dad that was like that, and people would go and score off him.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, silly moments, man. And then I ended up going down that track too and trying to get some of him too. But yeah, that was the path he chose, eh? Yeah.
But even with your experience of seeing your husband at the time, because they're not together.
Nah, they're not together.
So, and being witness to that, with what you saw, like being 10 years old, yeah, it is hard. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And it's like, see, you can, from what I've heard and what I've seen, like might be what I've read or what I've seen in film or documentaries and that, you can go down that track as well, eh? Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like it'll be like a cycle.
Totally.
And it's like, I don't know how kids experience what their experience is with that, but it seems to me like most of the time you'll go down the wrong track, seeing that like you'll do it too when you're older and you have a wife. And what you see when you're young will carry on when you're an adult.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
I don't know if it's true, but I think the more of a chance of that. But it's different, eh? Like I think some kids can take it a different way. Like, no, it's something's wrong. I'm just thinking about you when you're 10, knowing that it's something wrong, don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But maybe some deep inside you'll think, man, never gonna do that when I'm older, or I have to, like, I remember this, and it's gonna stick with me, and I'll know what to do when I'm older. Yeah. Like it will break.
Yeah, for sure. When you try to break the cycle. Yeah. Like I remember my earliest memory when it first happened, I was 10 years old, and it was the most silliest fight. It was like over, I think, my mom had done something and he was unhappy or something, so he like broke all her CDs. She had a massive collection of CDs, and then the fight was over that. And the next thing I know, they're going at it. And so I'm sitting there as a 10-year-old, and I think we were having dinner at the time, and I'm like rocking back and forth, thinking like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like, this is foreign. I'm not used to this, you know. Like, the men around me at the time, my uncles weren't this way inclined, you know. And so, like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was sitting there crying my eyes out there, like fearful, scared. But then I guess over time, it just became normal, you know, and it was what I was around. But definitely I agree with you what you're saying. Like, I would talk to my uncle about this because he was a pastor. He still is a pastor today. So when they'd have their fights, he'd come and counsel them and give them advice. And so I would ask him, I'd say, you know, like, because he grew up the same way. He saw his mom being treated the same way, beaten, just to within an inch of her life. And so I said, how do you navigate through that? How do you handle that? How do you then move on with your life and grow up and be a husband and a father and be a pastor of a church, leading a church? How do you not then make that your normal? You know, and he said, you know, whenever we're in situations like that, like I always used to tell myself, first thing, I will never be like my father. That's what he used to always say. He said, and the second thing is, even in my moments of being so angry, I'm going to walk away. He said, because it's in the moment that I choose to stay and be confrontational that things can escalate, and then the very person I say I'm not going to be, I turn into that person. And so that advice to me was the biggest bit of advice that I took on board, was constantly telling myself that I'm not going to be that way, and telling myself that, okay, I'm going to walk away when it gets heated. And so, yeah, I think just constant reassurance. I was really blessed to have like positive males around me that when they know, because I lived in one of the houses we lived in. So 8 years of that happening. You know, you stay together for a few months, they have a big fight, and then you move out and take all your things. And you know those old school entertainment units, the sideboard, the massive ones? Yeah, so there's massive entertainment units and stereo sets and couches. You're carrying that, you're carting it out, you're taking it to our family house at the time. And then next thing you know, they get together, they start catching up, you know, talking things over, and then we're going back to the same thing.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, because I was the only boy, I felt I needed to be there. As much as it was hurting me, I needed to still try and be some sort of protector, so I would go back. And so for 8 years of my life, you know, you're there, then you go back. Then you're there, then you go back. And so there was just a constant journey of that, you know. And so, yeah, I mean, I just, honestly, when I look back now, only God, like, if I can be really honest, it was just God that like kept me safe in those moments. But yeah, obviously, like you said, because you see that and because it's your everyday,
it becomes normal.
It becomes normal. So my wife, man, like we've been married 13 years this year.
Yeah.
You know, in July 2nd, man, like I'm really blessed that she stuck with me in the ugly moments. The moments when I became the man that I didn't want to become, she still stood by me. You know, the moments when I became this insecure, the moments that I became this jealous man, the moments I became this short-tempered man, because anger has always been something that I've struggled with, she stood by me. You know what I mean? And so I'm just really grateful that she was patient with me. And honestly, some moments there, I'm sure she must have been like, oh man, this guy is egg, man. This guy just give up on this guy, you know. But she stood by me, man, you know. And I think that was one of the biggest things for me. That you know, even in my moments of being that person, and I think that's what probably hurt me the most, is because I turned into that person, and I was that person, you know, in situations. And so I'm like, dang, the very thing I said I wasn't gonna be, I became. You know, the insecure, the jealous, like, who's that? What are you doing? You know, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I was perfect, you know, by no means. But I was just, you know, God was good. He gave me a good woman who was patient with me, and then we're able to journey through that. The thing that I'm most grateful for was that I did not once resort to the physical, you know, domestic abuse stuff, because...
But it's big of you to admit it, man, and like to say that you weren't, you know, you ain't gonna sort of become that
Yeah.
but then come close to being that,
Yeah, bro.
and like looking over it and being like, man, I'm glad that I haven't become that.
Yeah, man.
You know, because I've seen the way you are, and just this, like I've known you going back to when Sam brought you over home,
Yo.
and I lined you up, and you even sung for me. But just knowing that, like, man, having that like sort of friendship and relationship, brotherhood, like over this whole time,
Yeah, bro.
it's like the high valued friendships that I've had in my life. These are the ones that, like, you know, the ones that don't need maintenance.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
totally.
I don't need a chicken because I already know how well you're doing. I'm following you.
Yeah.
And then when we catch up,
Yeah.
well, Mumsy's still waiting in the car. Like, we're still talking. You know, it's like, oh, gotta go, man, gotta go. But it's like we try and catch up or like fill in that 3 years we don't see each other
Yeah, bro.
in those minutes. So I'm like blessed that we've crossed paths, man, and I appreciate you even making the time to come because I know you're a busy man. And like
bro.
I've always said to Cams, I believe in timing. I mean, timing's right.
Yeah, bro.
And just for you to say that you work in schools and like, you know, you're on school holiday, like,
Yeah, bro.
on a Sunday was perfect.
Oh, totally, man. I mean, if it's funny, sorry, go back to what you were saying. That right there was not a chance encounter. You know what I mean? Because I had a gig that day, bro. I had a 21st birthday. It was somewhere, where was it? Holden's Road. So it's off Holden's Road, and it was like a 21st birthday, and so I was like, oh man, I need to get my hair done when I had hair. When I had hair, I need to get a fade, you know, get my beard lined up. And then Sam was like, oh hey, I bumped into Sam or Jacob, and then Marie was there with them as well, and they're like, oh hey, like you should come here, come see one of friends of ours, these close friends of ours, Litty. And I was like, oh okay, yeah, cool, I'll come. And they came over, and you know, we chopped it up, man, and you know, you were just welcoming, you know, really welcoming, and you just really warm, bro, you know, and that was really cool, bro, because I'd never met you before, but the way we were chatting it up, bro, and just talking and just laughing, you know, it was as if we've known each other for ages, you know. And so fast forward now, 10 plus years, bro, you know, it's a real blessing to call you a brother, you know what I mean? And you know, being able to call someone a brother doesn't mean that there's a blood tie there, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
100,
you know, like, and so that was one of the things that's real massive for me, you know, because you've been the same when I met you 10 plus years ago. I think it's probably like 12 years now, to be honest. Yeah.
But I mean, even like you just dropping into the neighborhood, right? Like I remember you said you were picking up some roti on curry from next door to English place, and you just saying, "No, man, can we stop in and see? Let's see."
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
bro, I appreciate that. These little things, man, mean so much to me. Even like just seeing you perform and stuff.
Yeah,
like when I get that window to come and see.
Yeah, bro.
Like makes me life rich, bro, because I know your story. Like it's, apart from what you've shared with us, like just, you know, they say like when brothers come into your life for a reason, and I believe like, bro, you're put in that space, like for you to walk into the shop that day, after being a fan of yours, just watching you on TV,
Sure, bro.
and being like, oh, this guy's he's from Kelston, bro.
Yo.
Like that was huge, you know.
Sure, bro.
And I know as the older boys looking down, like I'm looking at our younger brothers, it's like, man, Uso's got pipes, man.
Sure,
Like, and we always wanted the best for you, and we're always gonna be fans of yours, you know, as well as having that brotherhood. But I shared with Ken like one thing, like, because like we used to have the KOB gatherings and stuff, and we'd always try and put it out on the always pages, like, you know, whenever we have events, we try and cater to everyone.
Yeah.
So one's for couples, one's for the boys to let loose, and then one's with the families.
Yeah.
And even though we never probably bumped into you at one, but I remember one of the boys sharing like why we should have these gatherings, like, you know, mental well-being, checking in, and just, you know, being able to just catch up properly, you know. But I remember one of the boys shared, like, if you know, one time in your life as an old boy, you will get called on a service, and it's to serve the brotherhood.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough that when my old man passed away, and you messaged me, and like, you know, you get birthday shout-outs on Facebook and social medias. That's a page where everyone does it. But you're different, man. Like, that's what I mean. Like, the friendship and the brotherhood we have, you text, you know, so when it's text, it's more personal.
Yeah, bro.
And then I remember you saying, oh, is there anything you could do for me?
Yeah, bro.
And that was singing at my dad's funeral. Like, that was the most beautiful thing, man, because even for you to get up and just say our ties, you know, through the brotherhood,
bro.
And you sharing the two songs you sung, like, I've never heard the Greyland PIC sound so quiet but yet blown away by someone coming in to sing, you know.
Bro. Yeah.
And I'm forever grateful for it, man, because that tells me that our brotherhood is second to none in this world, you know. And like, just to watch you perform, bro, is massive. Especially when I was seeing you like at Karaoke in the park, like, because that's my work.
Yeah.
Sort of Christmas party.
Yeah.
And like, you know, even like the last time I saw you perform, my daughter was like, Dad, can I ask him? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I love that. I love that the kids have met you, bro.
Yeah,
I
bro,
know that
totally.
much, you know?
Yeah, it's massive. Now, honestly, you know what you said, man. Like, you know, obviously you have those connections with people, and I guess the big thing for me is I've always really been big on like just trying to reach out to people in the moments when they don't expect it, you know, and even just sending a text, and like you said, like the mental well-being, you know. Sometimes as men, we feel like we only gotta keep in touch when it's the like the occasions or the events and stuff. And sometimes, you know, I cop a bit of flack from people like, bro, did you just like message this person? Did you just message this person? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why? I was like, nah, just, you know, they're in my contact, so I want to just message them and see how they're doing, you know, and make sure that they're all good, you know. And so, you know, with regards to, you know, when your dad passed and stuff like that, bro, you know, like, definitely wanted to reach out, because it's in those moments of deep hurt and sorry, you know, when it's really impactful, you know, when people come through and just show love, you know, and whether it's just being there to serve and to help, you know, like do things in the kitchen or whatever it is, or anything like that, you know, just always willing to do that for the brothers. So at that time, bro, I was like, yeah, for sure, man. Too easy.
But you are gifted, bro. Like, sharing your gift, bro, is like a beautiful thing, man.
Thanks, bro.
Especially in moments like that.
Yeah.
Like any family occasion, eh? Like, I gotta ask, man, but do you ever get sick of it, like, you know, on the requests, like, for you to come and sing? Like, knowing they're like, oh, man, they're good people, you know, I gotta...
Yeah.
Like, do you pick and choose, or...?
Yes, I think before I used to... growing up, man, like, I don't know if it was like my mom used to, like, no matter what space we were in, she'd be like, oh, sing here, sing here, sing here. Oh, yeah, my son sings. Sing. You know, like, you're having dinner with people that you've only met probably 2-3 times, and she's like, oh, yeah, you should sing them that song that you used to sing for granddad. And I'm like, but that's like random ass. Like, these people don't even know me, you know. And so in those instances, it would get annoying. But I guess, like, not annoying, man. Like, but it would be like, I wouldn't want to do it, because in those instances, I'm like, man, sometimes people just want to chill. Like, they just want to share a meal, talk with you about your week and what's going on in your life. They don't want to have someone like, okay, guys, stop doing the dishes or whatever, pause the tea. Like, Roland's going to sing for us, you know, and like who are you? Like, who are you? And why are you singing, you know? And so for me, it's like, yeah, like, I don't want to like impose or put that onto people. You know, at the end of the day, it's God's gift, bro. I'm literally just a vessel, man. Like, it's his gift. And if I can use it to bless people in times of real, you know, hurt and loss that they're feeling, or just uplift people, I'm all for it. There have been like moments, I'll be honest, when like some people like probably call upon me to do stuff, and then I know in the room that there's other people that are capable as well. So because I've always been about the collective, that's my thing all the time, is I'm always big on the collective and the group, you know, not so much the I. So I'm always going, oh, they'll be like, oh, can you sing here or sing at this? And then I'll make sure that I try and find a song that we all know together, so that we can contribute as a group, as opposed to one person being singled out. You know what I mean? I mean, there's moments when it happens and I'm like, oh, I really wish that they probably asked this person, you know, because like, I want to hear me sing again, you know. Here he is, you know, like, here he is, Mr. Williams going again, singing a song, you know. Yeah, there have been moments, but I look at it and I'm just blessed, bro, you know, to be able to be given a gift to communicate, like, how good God's been in my life, you know, and without even going and trying to Bible bash someone, you know, just going and just singing a song that uplifts them, you know, and that's my ministry.
But your selection of song choice is perfect, man. Like, yeah. I remember my wife, she was a massive fan of yours, like, just coming through on the Homai Te Pakipaki.
Yeah.
And like, man, just every time you sang, like, we'd probably like listen to you sing on that channel, like, because we could record it like maybe 6 or 17 times.
Oh, wow.
Like, you know, just
wow,
like,
that's
you could
crazy.
never get sick of it, you know?
Sure,
and it's like, bro, this guy's got pipes, man. And so any window that we could get down and watch, bro, we'll be there, you know?
Sure, bro.
So, nah, man, You're a gem, right?
Thanks, bro. It's funny you say song selection. For me, song selection is everything, bro. And I think more so, I'm gonna delve into something here, but more so with being a husband and a father, right? The songs that I come to a band with and be like, hey, Uso's like, can we jam this song? Or they might come to me and say, Uso, can you sing this song? Or requests come through. I'm always really selective with what I sing and what I deliver to people, because, you know, with being a husband and a father, there's a fine line in how I am, and I have principles myself.
Oh, nice. That's good.
You know, with what I sing, you know. And so it's funny. I had a gig when we used to gig at Sky City. We were the resident band there, and one of the boys hit me up, and he was like, "Oos, can you sing Young, Free and Single?" And I was like, sorry? This is while playing, you know, because we're trying to make it a seamless transition.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh, what's that? She was like, sorry, can you sing Young, Free and Single? And then I was like, oh, no, I don't know that song. And he said, nah, sorry, the drummer said, did you know the song?
Wow.
You sang before. And I was just like, oh, no, sorry, I can't do it. And then he ended up doing it. And then he hit me up about it later. And he was like, hey, why did you not sing that song? And I said, because, bro, you know, the lyrics to the song, you know, if you're doing nothing this weekend, give me a call, you know. And then obviously the chorus, it's because I'm young, free and single, and I just want to mingle. Whereas for me, that's not what I am. You know, I'm not young, I'm not free, I'm not single. Yeah, people might say, oh, you're looking into it too hard. It's just a song. But I'm going, no. But then if you're communicating that, and then that's the perception that you're putting out there, and that's what you're letting your listener know, who you don't know, what they're going to come with. When I was coming up in the band as like a 15, 16-year-old, this guy Felix, back in Fiji, bro, amazing guitarist. He was the guitarist for one of our well-known Fijian groups called Black Rose. And he said to me, he said, when you're a musician, you have the power to dictate emotions, or to dictate what happens in those emotive moments with the songs that you sing. And the example he gave me was, he says, so you're in a situation and you sing a song and someone's come to your gig, right? And they've broken up with their partner and they're hurting. And you sing the right song, which you don't know is the right song. You're just singing a song. They can totally take that song a different way to what you're trying to communicate. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so you sing, oh, yeah, I'm free and sing. And then they're like, oh, my heart's being broken and I'm shattered. But you're singing Young, Free and Single. Maybe, you know what I mean? And so I'm always selective of what I sing. I don't just sing, you know, people can request songs to me. Another example of this is Pony, Genuine. One of the all-time biggest R&B songs, you know, of forever. And people was like, oh, so like, can you do Pony? And I'm like, I'm always trying to get out of it. I'm going, nah, Sole, okay, we'll do it. You do the first verse, I do the second verse. And then they're like, nah, Sole, come on, just do it, bro, do it. And because the first line of the verse is, I'm just a bachelor looking for a partner, someone who knows how to ride without even falling off. And I'm going, hang on, I'm not a bachelor. I'm not looking for a partner. You know, I don't need someone who knows how to ride. You know, I'm cool. So then in that instance, if I'm going to sing the song, I go, I'm just a brother that's in love with my lover. She's someone who knows how to ride. You know what I mean? So that you're giving them the song that they want to hear, but you're not compromising your principles or where you stand.
So you change the words around.
So I changed the words.
Where you're coming from.
Yeah, to suit where I'm coming from.
I'm sold on that, bro. That's solid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So how do you prioritize, you know, when you gave the example of Young, Free and Single?
Yes.
Because you came to on the perspective of your values first, and then after that you came with the perspective on who's in the crowd.
Uh-huh.
They might be proud.
Yes.
So based on those two things, is that how you make your decision on how to sing a song? And then would you change the words to Young, Free and Single, or would that be a completely different song?
I think for a song like Young, Free and Single,
you can't,
You can't?
Yeah,
because like the message is young, free, single. You know, you can't. Yeah, so I think there's certain songs where I'll just be, sometimes you're doing it for a client, you know, for a birthday or whatever it is, a wedding, and they'll go, oh, bro, can you do Young, Free and Single? Can you do Pony? And so Pony, I can change. Cool. Or Pony, we can go, bro, Oos, you do first verse, and then I'll do second verse, because it goes to sitting here flossing, you know? And so, I always, if I know I can change it, I'll try and change it. If I can't, then I'll say, you sing it, or we're just not going to sing it. So I'm really big on lyrics, bro. I'm so big on lyrics. It's funny, I remember when we were in the band and 24 Karat Magic had just come out, and Bruno Mars had the lyrics. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Look up. I got some pretty girls around me, and they're waking up the rocket. Wake up. You know what I mean? Waking up pretty girls around me, right? So I changed that. Whether or not my wife is in the crowd or not, I'm going to keep it 100 all the time. So I changed it to, I got my pretty wife around me and she waking up the rocket. Wake up. You know what I mean? Like, whatever those lyrics are, so I changed it to suit me. And sometimes people come up to you like, hey, you didn't sing the right lyrics. Or I'm like, I didn't know you wrote the song, but but I'm not going to compromise who I am. So you can get be happy and all that sort of stuff, And I think it's important to have standards.
I think it's important to have principles.
Yeah, totally.
It's like it creates a character, your character.
Yeah,
it shows through that. Your character shows through the principles that you have for yourself.
For sure.
Like, man, I see examples of it a lot.
Yeah.
Of people having make their own rules for themselves, like their own principles. And like sometimes you don't take notice of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just little things there.
Yeah, totally.
And sometimes you cannot understand it.
Yeah.
But when you do look back and if you do understand it, then you'll know that, man, this guy's the man. Cause,
bro.
Because I'm listening to you telling you, because when you first said, how you don't sing because it's the context of the song, I'm thinking, man, you are looking at it too deep. Because when you said, man, people tell me, man, I'm looking at it too deep. And I'm thinking, too deep, man, that's too deep.
Yeah,
but when you explain it, now I recognize why, and I see you got man of principles. And it makes a big deal, man. It makes a big difference on the type of person you are.
Yeah.
Gives you more respect, as a singer and as an artist.
Sure, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think it's important, eh? I think it really is.
It is.
And I'm always on my kids with what they're listening to or they talk. I mean, my kids have heard me play the Tupacs and Ice Cube, who's my all-time favorite rapper, and heard me play, probably when I'm in a state, No Vaseline, they're like, oh, Dad, what's that song? or I ripped that West, because I went Kelston voice, I'm like bumping it hard out. I showed my son last week. He said, whoa, Dad, this is a gangster song. But I'm different. I'm big on principles, man. And like I said before, I'm really fortunate that the men that I did get to have in my life were men of principles. Obviously, the biggest one is my faith, with Jesus. But then having my uncle, who was a pastor, having a coach that was also my cousin and in the band with me, who, was always looking out for me. Then for me, because I didn't really have a template of what a father or a man should be, it then caused me to go, wait, I'm seeing abuse and physical abuse, verbal, emotional. I'm seeing it here. People are always putting this on us, that as brown people, we are angry and physical, and we are very physical in our approach. But I chose to be like, nah, why can't I change the narrative on that? And why can't I then try and figure out what I want to be as a husband and as a father, and I'll be honest, I don't get it right all the time. My kids can tell you that. My wife can tell you that. But it's just about continuously trying,
Your uncles are a big influence.
Yeah,
just
my uncle.
Advice in that.
Yeah, he was massive. So his name is Ralph. So my second name is Ralph. So it's Roland Ralph Williams. And so when they call Ralph, because he's Ralph, I'm Ralph, and his son's Ralph, we'd be like, oh, yeah. no, Ralph Senior. But he was massive, bro. Like, because I never had a dad around, I would go with him everywhere. Like, if he was going to the shop to get something, if he was going to the office on it, I'd like pull a sickie and just stay home. We'd go to our little curry spots and have feeds. We'd go to these different spots. So those little things for me were massive and things that I still hold close to me to this day. But he was pretty much the person that modeled to me what being a man is about, Like, he was emotive. He had his emotional side. He had his protective side. He had his wise side, and he was huge, bro. can't thank him enough.
Shout out to
bro.
Uncle Ralph, man.
Yeah, bro, totally.
I love that how you talked about how you figured it out as a young kid.
Yeah.
Like, talking to your uncle and then seeing what your mum went through, and especially the anger part of things, especially the breaking of things and that. Because when I think back at, how those situations happen.
Yeah.
And for you to think it's also only a little thing, when you said it was only a little thing, but they were arguing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you might smash some plates, you might break a window, and then it's all gone. For what?
Exactly.
What's the whole reason? Like, now you got a broken window, you got a broken table,
Exactly.
and for what? Now you got to buy another broken table.
Buy a new one, fix it.
You got to fix it. You got to replace stuff.
Totally.
For what?
Yeah.
It's a waste. To me, it's a waste of time.
Total waste of time.
So
bro.
why not just nip it in the bum, have that thought in your head, like, it's just the argument. Don't worry about it. But it's hard. It's hard for some people, I think.
It's really hard, and I think when you're very proud individuals as well, when your pride is there, like if you're, I know for our Pacifica people, I can speak from experience. Like I know we're very proud people as well. But I think in that situation and like what I saw growing up, they were definitely very too proud people that weren't willing to back down and wanted to get their points across. And then it just, it's just a recipe for disaster, bro. And
that pride you speak of, that is true, 100%.
I hate pride,
Perseverance
man.
and pride, man. That's
Yeah, man.
it can make or break.
Yeah, it can make or break so many things. It's such a bad thing. I look back. It's funny as we're talking about this. I got a bit of a flashback, and it takes me back to my bringing. I think I was third form, or probably year eight, and this one fight had broken out, and he had like a dagger in the sitting room. He had bought it for himself, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. You can look at it and touch it and stuff." And in that moment, I'm hearing my mom getting. I don't know if anybody's ever heard it. Probably kids that have been to it, you're hearing your mom getting body slammed against a concrete wall, and then hearing the iron for the clothes going on her head, being smashed on her head, and you're sitting there as a young'un going, and especially a male, and you're going, what can I do? How can I help? How can I be of some use to this woman in this time? And I just remember picking up that knife, that dagger, man, it was pretty massive. And I was like, okay, so, playing it over my mind, if I just go in, open the door, a few sticks of this, surely it'll slow him down, and I don't know, maybe my courage levels were still pretty small at the time. And I was like, I really want to, but then how about if it makes the situation worse? And then he turns and uses it on me or uses it on my mom. What am I going to do here? And so I'm grateful that I didn't handle it in that way, even though I wanted to. But I'm just grateful that, we still got out of that situation, even though we continued on for so long. We managed to get out of it eventually. But yeah, pride. I don't like pride. Even as a performer, man, I don't like performers that not a performer, but like a vocalist, like humility is one thing that's like so important to me. It's honestly one of the essence. It's like an essence of who I am as well as a person. Like I believe to be humble, Lucky Dube, Lucky Dube, man.
Yeah.
And one of his songs that I always remember, man, was "Be good to the people on your way up the ladder, because you meet them on the way down." And you're not always gonna be on the top. You're gonna, there's my uncle used to always tell me this when we're playing footy. He used to say, "Yeah, you doing fitness?" I'm like, "Nah." He goes, "Okay. The number 8 you're playing against today?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, he's probably gone for his morning runs. Have you been going for your runs?" "Nah." He goes, "Okay. All right. Remember, there's always someone training harder than you. There's always someone working harder than you, someone stronger than you. If you're not putting in the effort and the dedication to it, if you're not humble enough to get up in the mornings, you're going to always be, behind the 8 ball." And so for me, it was like, man, there's always someone better than me. There's always someone that can do things that I can't do. And it's just about keeping that humility and keeping yourself accountable, but at the same time, being willing to give people their flowers. Like people in the States say this all the time, giving someone their flowers, and just like being okay with not even being okay, but just giving people the respect or the credit they deserve. Like another quote that I live by is, "It's okay to clap for your friends whose dreams have taken off before yours." It's cool. It doesn't make you less of a man or make them any better than you or make you feel like, oh, no, they just made it because of this. You know, you try and put them down, you know, you try and say all these things, but it's okay to clap, man. And with your applause, make sure that it's loud, man, like, so that they know I got your back, man. Like, you've made it, and maybe I may not make it, but I'm still grateful that I have what I have, and I'm grateful that you have what you have. Yeah, so just some of the things. Yeah. That's some of the things I live by, bro. And I always tell my students that, hey, be good to people on the way up the ladder, because you're going to meet them on the way down. And if you're going up the ladder and you're going, I'm the man. Oh, I did it before you. I've sung with this person, and I've done this, and I've done that. When you're coming back down, and they'll be going, oh, hey, far man, Faust, where you going? And I'm like, oh, hey, remember me? And they're like, no. You are the very person that, you know, wouldn't even give me the time of day. So,
I'm laughing because I know a situation like that, for real.
Oh, really? Yeah. And I'm sure we all do. Man. There's
we all know
bro.
those.
Yeah, we have a few of those people in our lives, eh?
Funny, man. But all that, you know how you're talking about, like, our pride in that? Yeah. Like, when I think back in the days when I was younger, growing up in school, you know how we talk about the mental health side of things and how we give each other flowers now, how we clap for people?
Yeah, bro.
None of that would happen, man, back when I was young. Nothing. It's like if you show any kind of vulnerability, you're like a sock or crybaby or soft, you know.
Totally. Harden up.
Even though it was the thing, and for me anyway, it was like, okay, harden up to me was like, okay, don't even show any form of weakness.
Yes.
Just do it. Just move forward and do it.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't the type to get, like, affect me.
Yeah.
But I know it wasn't a thing to do, to talk about stuff, your feelings and stuff when I was young, you know.
That's so true, bro.
And it's just when I look around social media and what's happening now with people these days, with us growing up, I mean, us now these days, and what the kids are doing, it's totally different, man. Hey,
Totally.
now we're taught to, like, chicken.
Yeah.
You know, talk about it. You know, talk to your mates or check in with your mates and that.
Exactly.
And you know, it was never any of that when I was at high school.
Yeah, I agree with you, eh? And it's funny because, like, I work in a space, like, I work at a high school, and I work in a space where part of my role is to be this sounding board, but also to have this listening ear where people can come and talk and share. And you know, it's important to have, like, a balance as well. You know, like, to all of that, like, one thing that I will say about the generation, you know, when you guys were at school, when I was at school, was that there was a lot of resilience. There's so much resilience, bro. Like, and we'd get knocked back. You know, we may not make this team, or we may not make this team, or we may be on the bench in the weekend, or whatever it is. But we were able to bounce back, and I think over time too. I think what's also really important, bro, is home is always the most important place, eh? And if people are speaking into your life at home, you know, because you know when you go play a footy game on a Saturday and you do something wrong and you get in the car and dad or uncle, and then they're like, oh, not good this week. You missed the second, you missed it. Sometimes when they communicate it, it's, even though it is in love, it isn't always uplifting. And I think for some people, some may have thick skin and they may be able to take it on board and be like, okay, I can be better. Some can't. But I think it's really good to be able to have a balance, you know. And I think if I liken it to when I was growing up, like, you know, always getting knocked back or saying you're not doing good enough, it, like, really spurred me on, you know. Or if someone was like, bro, just harden up, just, like, stop being soft or whatever it is. It would hurt, you know, but, like, I would try not to show it, but it did hurt, you know. And I think the thing that I do love, though, about today is, especially for males, is we're getting better at being more vulnerable.
100%, man.
You know, like,
100%.
Just we're okay with saying to a brother or an uso or toko or tadina, you know, just saying, hey, bro, like, I'm not in a good place.
Yeah, man, it's okay to say
it's okay that I'm not okay, you know. And I think it's so cool that we have that now, because then people are able to speak out and just say, man, like, things are going on at home and I'm suffering here and I'm not doing so well here, and work's now where I got to let go of work and I got to provide for my wife and our 3-4 kids, you know, and I think it's so important. And so I'm able to, when I liken it to my job, because I do all sorts of things, like I deal with children that come in and talk about all sorts of issues, and one of the big ones is suicide. You know, and I think for me, being a person that is a survivor of 3 suicide attempts, it's something that I can openly and honestly speak on. I can be as vulnerable and as transparent as I can be, and I can say to these young people, these young men and these young women, like, I know how you feel. I was once there once, you know, and, you know, God was so good that he didn't allow me to. I'm glad, like I look back on my life and I'm glad that, you know, God was faithful, and because if I had been successful in those attempts, or in even one of those attempts, I wouldn't have my wife and our 5 kids. You know, I wouldn't have the life that I have. So that's such a big thing for our young people. You know, like trying to measure themselves up against these standards that are just false. You know, and you know, they look at Instagram and they're like, oh man, this influencer talks this way and looks this way and eats this and has this going on for them. You know. And they're the same age as me. They're 15, 16. Why can't I be like that? You know, and I'm always trying to talk to our young people, and I'm always trying to help them by saying, be your biggest fan. And then they look at me and they go, what do you mean? What do you mean? I say, because if you're not your biggest fan and you're in a situation where the odds are stacked against you, you're not getting the support from home, you're not getting the support from school, right? And those voices are loud. Try and work at making sure your voice is the loudest, and that even when your back's against the wall, you're saying, hey, come on, champ, pick yourself up. You can go again. Like, you're not gonna be like everybody else. There's a quote. I got so many quotes that I live by, bro, but there's this one quote that I saw, and it says, be careful how you speak to yourself because you're listening. And I'm like, whoa. Positive self-talk.
That's my fun, bro. Right.
Yeah, bro.
Let's go, man.
It got me the first day.
I've been doing that for the last few days, man, and that's just being able to sit on this side of the table and just listen, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And
we do a podcast called Empty Out the Clip, where we just talk about things that go on during the week. And we give our honest opinion on how we feel about stuff.
Nice.
And sometimes, for me, my thing is to actually, you know, when you said talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, my thing is actually bring out properly what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people can take it the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly.
And you might think something, but it might not come out the right way in your mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm always conscious of that.
Yeah.
And
sure.
it's hard because sometimes when we have our episodes, I listen back. And then when it's my turn to make my point, I'm listening to what I say and I'm like, oh, shit, that's not what I meant.
It happens, eh?
It happens, man. I'm like,
it does. Yeah, and I totally agree with you. And sometimes, you know, that adrenaline of really what you're trying to communicate and the point you're trying to get across, it just doesn't happen. You're like, oh man, that was sort of what I was trying to say, but not sort of what I was trying to say. I totally agree with you, man. I have heaps of those moments, man. But yeah, I mean, like, and it's funny, you know, you're saying what you like. Sometimes you want to communicate how you're feeling, like even just like some of the simplest things, man. Like I remember one time I was going through this real bad day, or something had happened. And so something I was encouraged the young people I work with is like, you think of what is it? You think of a water bottle, and you fill the water bottle obviously, and then it fills it up to the top, right? So you fill the water bottle up to the top, right? And you have a group of friends. So you're in a group of friends. It's a summer day, and then your friends go, "Oh, yo, gee, can I have a skull?" And then you're like, because you're a good person, you're like, "Yo, sure, of course, yeah, have a drink." They have a skull. Next person comes on. Yo, Dax, can I have a skull? Yeah, of course, yeah. Can I have a skull? Yeah, bro, have a skull. Hey, mana, can I have a skull? Yeah, bro, go ahead, right? So slowly, right, it's a bit hard to, your water bottle, right, is starting to drop in water level, right? So the water level is dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, right? And then it gets to the point where you're like, whew, oh man, that was a full-on day. I'm going to have to go walk to catch my bus now. I feel like some water. And you got to grab your water bottle, but there's little to nothing in your water bottle. And you go, damn, man, I'm disappointed. Shucks, I should have filled it. And you're wondering, how did that happen? Oh, that's right. That's when this person used it and this person used this. So I always encourage young people, ensure that the people that are in your circle are not only taking from you, but they're going, yo, can I grab a drink? And I'll fill it up for you, bro. I'll fill it up for you. Ensure that the people in your circle and in your friend circle, even your family, are not ones that are always taking and drinking out of this fountain that you have or this water that you have. Make sure that they're putting back in so that when it's your turn, right, you haven't given so much of yourself that you're at the last drop or you're going to burn out, you know? So always ensuring that the people that are in your circle are feeding you as much as you're feeding them.
I'm glad you're teaching that to the kids. Because when I was at high school, if I had a pie at the tuck shop and showed it, man, it's gone. I never get anything back.
I know what you mean. And that's why I used to try and go to the back of the tuck shop and be friends with the tuck shop team. And then I just go, hey, miss, can I have a brownie? Can I have 3 brownies? So that when I had my first one that the boys saw, they saw only the one, but really I had 2 in my pocket that were spare. But nah, I'll be like, yo, nah.
Oh, the tricks, the stoley tricks, eh?
Try to, but nah. I think it's just part of us, Pacifica people, you know, we're so giving, We'll give the shirt off our backs. We'd rather see someone, you know, able to use something, and we're happy to go without, And I think that's a beautiful thing and a beautiful way to be. But I think it's always good to have wisdom as well,
When you were talking about resilience before, you said 2 things that I was thinking about. You said resilience back in our days.
Yeah.
Because we're in the harden up days.
Yeah, totally.
The resilience came through, I think. These days, we've been more vulnerable, been more open.
Yes.
The kids are not quite as resilient as we are.
Yes.
And you talked about having a balance. And I'm always trying to figure that out, the balance part of it.
Yeah.
Because I get it. I get we were more resilient back then because we never had the vulnerability thing. But is it because of that? And how many of our peers back in our day were left behind because of the no talking about it stuff? Yeah. Where most of us were resilient enough, because you were in a position where you were hurt, but you still went for it.
Yeah.
But you were hurt.
Yeah.
Do we need that hurt a little bit to move forward?
Yeah.
Because these days it seems like the kids are not as resilient, and you spoke of it with your kids at school. Well, because they're not like, they didn't grow up how we grew up.
No, they didn't.
But I'm wondering about and you talked about the suicide rates too, because the suicide rates were high even when we were young.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Without internet and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're high now.
Yeah.
So it hasn't really changed much.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm always thinking about these things, and I'm always wondering why. And, or, you know, it's like, I don't know what the answer is.
Bro, I mean, like I'm gonna start off with one thing, because I think this pretty much is the foundation for everything, and I guess for me it's, you know, our Pacifica people, the thing that's been the biggest for us and has helped us through many generations is our faith. You know, I think I heard like someone, an African American artist or something, that was talking about this, and you know, like, you know, we grew up in homes where our parents, where our grandparents, great grandparents were God-fearing people. You know what I mean? So, like it or not, whether or not we wanted to continue and work at our faith, it was always there in the back of our minds. Like, it was always there. Like, you know, get up, read your Bible, pray every day. That cliche song, but it's so true. And then I think as time has gone on and life has become more and more busy, and parents are trying to provide, and parents are trying to be the best that they can be as providers, we haven't really had the opportunity to really delve into our faith as much as we should. But that can also be due to bad experiences in church, because I'm a product of having a bad experience in church. There was one time there where I didn't sing at church for 7 years. I said, nah, I'm angry because something happened. I'm not going to sing. This is my gift, when really it wasn't. And so I didn't sing for 7 years, you know. But I think faith is such a big part. Like with some of the young people I've been able to talk with that have faith, or like that, you know, they grew up in a church or grew up, you know, with a God-fearing background. They haven't really had parents, and I'm not speaking anything against the parents, like I'm speaking to myself as well, that have really been like, hey man, let's pray as a family. let's have loku, you know, like, because it's such an important part of us. Like, I believe it's the reason why we, even as like generations on, we've still been able to make it through, is off the back of prayers of our grandparents and great grandparents for their future, you know, future kids and their not future kids, but like the future generation, you know. And so I believe that that's what's carried us through our times and sustained us. And then I think as we've grown up and we're like, nah, I'm not going to go to church because sister so-and-so called me out for smoking under the tree or, you know, doing something dodgy, you know, I don't want to go back to church again. Then when we then grow up, we haven't given it the same energy that our parents and grandparents gave. So then when we have kids, we don't instill that in them. We may pray at dinner time, but they don't know it like we do. And so even though we faltered back then and we did some crazy things, we always knew that, man, I'm doing this wrong, but God loves me. Eh? Man, I'm failing, but he still cares for me. So I think the biggest thing is faith. I think it's really important.
I think you're right, eh? Because the foundation was there when we were kids, eh?
Bro.
Like our parents straight go to church Sunday, that's it.
Yeah.
If you don't go to church, then you don't eat.
Exactly. And you didn't have a choice.
No choice.
You know what I mean? Like, I can speak here and be honest with you, bro. Some Sundays, and I serve at church. I probably might get in trouble for this, but when I'm serving on a particular Sunday, yes, get up, kids, let's go. Then when it's the Sunday when I'm not serving, they're like, oh, Daddy, are you serving today? And the kids want to go to church. My daughter's sitting here, she can probably attest to that. And then they're going, Daddy, we go to church. Are you on today? I'm like, no, I'm not on today. And they're like, oh, okay. Can we go for the later service, the 11 o'clock service? And like, oh, just watch online today. You know, and I'm like, you feel the guilt, but at the same time, you're like, oh, no, but like, I just need to rest. I had a full-on week. We all get tired, you know. But when we look back to our parents' days and our grandparents' days, they were there. They were there. And if they could put in the effort to go and have a family gathering on a Saturday night and it went till 2, 3 in the morning, they were up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you know, saying their prayers, getting ready, they're off to church, you know. And that's one thing I look back now for my kids, and I sort of am disappointed in myself, but I'm trying to be better. But I'm disappointed that I didn't keep the same energy that my grandmother kept, where I would wake up to go to the bathroom at 4 in the morning and I hear her praying for the house and covering the house with Jesus' blood, you know, saying, you know, like all this sort of stuff. And in my head, I'm like, well, why would you even do that? Like, I sleep, you know. But I look back now and I think that's one thing kids have missed out on. So when they find themselves, yes, we had suicide back then. So true. I had heaps of mates that I lost to suicide. We had suicide back then. But the thing about now, and I think the thing that our kids have is technology, man. And the internet. It's just so in your face that they are bombarded with all these lies, bro, of who they are and who they need to be and who they should be, or, you know, and just constantly telling them that they're not their best self, you know, that they're never going to be good enough. And it's just all these lies that they see, or, you know, they get trolled online or cyberbullying, you know what I'm saying? And they can't escape it, you know. We can say, oh, just deactivate your account. And then there's another thing that comes up. Discord comes up. My students were explaining to me that Discord comes up and Reddit, and, you know, your number makes its way around, and, you know, students come to me, oh, sir, my number got put on Discord and I'm getting random texts and stuff like that, you know. So I think kids are facing, even though they're not as resilient as we were back then, but what they have that's damaging and so, like, just attacking them is what's online, eh?
It was much simpler for us back then.
Simpler, bro.
Because, yeah, you take internet out and we played outside. We never had PS5 and PS4, but we played outside with the friends. And
Exactly.
we rode bikes, but we had that human interaction.
Yeah, totally.
Like more than I think kids do now these days.
Way more.
Kids are stuck against their devices, playing the games.
Yeah.
If they're not playing the games, they're, you know, watching TV or
Exactly.
Social media is a
media.
total whole different beast, eh?
Bro.
And just the fact that Yeah, but you're right. Though, it should start at home, and it's
Yeah.
more of the influences, the influences
Mm.
that should matter to the kids.
Yeah.
And like you hope you do enough, even though you're busy doing your own life and
Yeah.
working all the rest of it, like trying to keep a fine balance between your faith, your marriage, and upbringing, the upbringing of the kids.
Yeah.
But you hope you do enough to leave some of the better things,
Yeah.
like the principles.
For sure.
And I believe you have done that, Us.
Sure, bro. I
You
hope
have done
so,
it, and I
man.
believe it because I don't follow many people, and I tell this guy I don't follow a lot of people, man. Like I can show you my phone, it's like not many. So the people I don't follow on Facebook, I might follow them on Instagram, but just purely just to see if how they're doing and stuff, you know.
Yeah, bro.
So I'm always following you, man.
Sure,
Like I
bro.
believe you're one of
Appreciate
these.
it.
You're like a gym, bro. You're like that. These crystals, below the ground that
Sure,
enough
bro.
pressure, man. You just shine, Us.
Thanks, bro.
And you're giving of your time, your heart, and like where you can help people. Like, yeah, even just being in the space of the work that you do, right?
Yeah.
Like, those kids will be, like, a lot of that stuff that you tell them will rub off.
Thanks,
Because,
bro.
like, he said it, like, if we were at school and we heard that,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you'd be in a better headspace, you know?
Yeah, totally.
But, like, we've had so many guests come in and tell us, like, the stuff that they share with the students. It's like, man, if I'd have heard that at school,
Bro.
I would have had a franchise of barbershop
Yeah,
already.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, little things like that.
Well,
But-
even more recently, even you, let's talking about how teachers actually told you guys you couldn't do it.
oh, yeah.
You know, even teachers say to the kids,
and
but
whether it
for
was
some
the
reason,
challenge, eh?
but for some reason, you guys took that as okay. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Like took that
Yeah.
as motivation to
Uh-huh.
do better.
Yeah,
like
man.
Yeah.
even if I don't know if that was the teacher's intent, but it did the work for you and the other guys. Like that went through the same thing. You know, like
Yeah.
a teacher telling you can't do it. You know, either put you down or make you say, nah, I'll show you.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And yeah, and that's the thing in schools, man. Like, with these honest conversations that I get to have with these amazing students, man. Like I work out south. What they're hearing, the narrative that they're hearing, and what they're being told is, oh no, like you're an idiot, you're dumb, you're not good enough, or you're just like your sibling. You know, they hear the surname and they're like, oh, are you a Smith, or are you a Williams? Oh, is your uncle so and so? Oh yeah, I know your family. You know, and straight away you're like, what do you mean? You know, and then they just categorize you straight away. But they don't know 2 cents about you. You know, they don't know nothing about you, but they just fall into that. You know, I think, you know, it does start at home, man. Like if we are the biggest cheerleaders and the biggest champions for our young people and our kids, to let them know that the sky is not the limit. It's like literally only the beginning. You know, like you can be the best you can be. You know, and I'm always really enjoying like servicing and working with our young brown kids, you know, like our Pacifica and Maori kids. Because I think when they're born, they're already being told that, or sometimes because they're the color, they have a particular color of their skin, they feel like they're already, you know, starting way behind. I'll give you an example. I grew up in the islands and I used to go gig at resorts, right? How much I was so nervous to gig for Palangi people and the clients and stuff like that. Sometimes I wouldn't even converse with them, or I'd like look down, you know, or I'd feel like I was less than, like I'm not good enough, you know, or I can't be in the same space, in the same room as you. I can't be as great as you are, you know? And it only took, bro, like it literally only took, when I got married, bro, because my wife, she's European, right? But her mom is German Samoan, so she's got both sides, you know. And she still does now. But when I met her, she was at a law firm, so when we'd have the work functions, I'm at a work function with Palangi folk that, you know, have degrees and have honors and have and get this big money, this big paper, and I'm a dude that used to work at Big Save as a salesperson, lugging furniture around. So I used to be like, oh, I can't really be in that space. And she used to say, why not? Because like they're white folk, and I'm this brown person. Like I'm the skin color that I have. And no, she said even more. She said that's even more so why you should be proud of who you are, why you should be feeling good about yourself, because you're that, and you're really unique with what you bring, the set of skills that you have, with the intellect that you have. It doesn't put you on the back burner. She said, yes, for years maybe you've been told that, and maybe our people have been told that, that, oh, you guys are just coconuts and you'll never be your factory workers. And so I had that mentality, bro. And then my wife, she's like, nah. She goes, I want you to be confident in you. Be confident in who you are. When you walk into that room, not in an arrogant way, you command that space. You walk in with your head held high, and you conversate with these intellectual folk. If you talk a certain way and you have street slang or whatever it is, that's how you talk. You don't have to feel like you got to be like, oh goodness, did you see the news the other day? And it's appalling that our young Pacifica kid, do you know what I mean? Like, I used to feel like, oh damn, like I'm here in my high vis, or I've got my name tag, and she's like, hell no. She goes, you walk in there and you be confident. Yeah. You embrace who you are.
Man, shout out to Mumsy, man. I love that.
Yeah, my wife, man. She's my the success I have today, apart from God and His faithfulness. The man that I am today is honestly down to having the woman that I have, because she gives me the kick up the backside.
Yeah, that's the keeping you honest, and also don't try and be someone that you're not.
Oh, bro, she tells me sometimes when I used to come back from work and then I had a bit of a slang or hard, man, hard, yeah, hard. She's like, since when did you use hard all the time? You say hard. What's all of this lingo? I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, babe, we're just working with some of the boys. She's like, just be you. Don't try and be anything else, And I'm like, oh yeah, true, Even with my singing, man, I didn't like that I sang the way I sang. I'm gonna be honest, man. I didn't like it. I started like, man, I love Luther Vandross. I love Marvin. I love these guys. But I want to sound like R&B cat. And I want to sound like all these R&B groups. And she used to look at me and she used to be like, why? Why do you want to sound like every other person? Why can't you be happy with you and be comfortable in your skin and be content with what you have and just maximizing on what you have? And I'd be like, she's like, you got to be confident because, you have it. And, sometimes people see me perform like, oh my gosh, amazing, bro. But if they only know how nervous I get and how I psych myself out.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do it all the time, even to this day. But, my wife's been my biggest champion, man. She fights for me like no one I've ever seen, And she's really inspiring for me. And I'm not just saying it because I'm on this, but I tell her every day, I'm like, man, shucks, you inspire me. You want to be the best you can be at all costs. Even if you walk into a space with intellectuals, with people that have degrees. I work in a school and, we have really some really qualified people that are in that space. But, it's just being content with what I have and the skill set that I have to be able to speak on what I speak on with confidence. Not cockiness, confidence, And so, yeah, man, shout out to wifey, Tans, appreciate you, Shout out to just these positive people that I've had in my life, but more so, yeah, wifey's been huge for me, man.
Man, I love that, I love what you said, and because that thing about being yourself, that is really important. Out of everything that's been said to us now, us Polynesians now in society, with us with mental health, with us being vulnerable and talking about our feelings and all that, I think nothing is more important than us being ourselves and to put it on blast, especially in situations like you were in. With you're in a situation where there's white people around, you might be, even me, I've been in those situations where I think, man, I'm just a nobody, I don't know what they'll think about me. I don't know. You're always thinking about what they're thinking.
Ideas, bro.
You're always thinking about what they're thinking, and
totally.
and it makes you turn into someone else, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're right. When you start doing those proper speaking.
Yeah.
You're not speaking like you
usually would.
You speak with your friends, with the boys and stuff. And it got to the point where even me, I remember back in the days when I was still working, or when I was working when I was much younger. Because I work in the office, so on a Friday night, or on a Friday afternoon, some of the boys would ring me at work. Then I'll be like, oh, we're talking quiet because they want everyone to hear how I talk for real.
Yes, your real lingo and your
My real lingo, you know?
accent. Yeah.
I used to hate it. Yeah, okay, blah blah blah. Be quiet and put the phone down. Who was that? Oh, no one.
Yeah, exactly.
But but that's most important, that we be ourselves now in this era now, because I think part of a lot of the reason why the Balinese look down at us is because they don't understand us, right? Which is normal. Which is the normal reaction to have. If you don't understand something, you'll look down upon it, and because they don't understand it, because there's not enough of us showing our true selves out there.
Absolutely,
bro.
bro.
So that's why this podcast is important. That's why Polynesian podcasts are important to get out there. But most importantly, to have people, Polynesians, come on podcasts and talk how you talk.
Yeah.
Talk
Just
amongst
be
each
you.
other and put it out there for
Yeah.
people to hear. Because, honest to God, like the people at my work, when they listen to the podcast, they can't believe it's me, because the way I talk is different.
Wow.
I don't talk like this really at work, and it's like a different world, to them. When they hear it, when these Balinese hear this podcast, they think, man, they don't understand. They haven't heard this before.
Yes.
The way we talk, the way we speak, the stories we tell, the banter we have, or the jokes we say, because the jokes we say, they wouldn't say those same jokes. To them, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
But to us, we're just laughing. It's funny because we put each other down like that. That's how we joke around. But that's the difference, and it's so important that it's out there for people to understand.
Yeah.
And it's important for us to be ourselves
For sure.
in any
Authentic.
situation,
Yeah.
every situation,
sure.
authentic. Because just like your wife said, why do you want to be like those other people?
Exactly.
When those other people want us to be different because it's interesting.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear people that are the same.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Bro, I'm gonna say this, man. Like, I'm not the type to throw compliments around like every day of the week, But in the space of music and singers and vocalists right now, and it's awesome that we got you on the pod, man. But I believe it full-heartedly, bro. You're the Luther Vandross or Pacifica in the country,
That's
South Pacific, bro. But Uncle George.
Oh wow.
But you're there, bro. Because no one sounds like you. Doesn't matter what genre of music is, you can hit it. You got it. You got the sound. The sound is yours, but it's authentically you. It's your chills. It's your arrangement, your tone. Like, I love that. I live for live gigs like that. Like, me and my daughter, when we were at, was Auntie Joanne's 60th.
Oh, the 16th. Yeah.
She was saying to me, Dad, will he sing at my 21st?
Oh wow.
I'm like, but that's ages away. Like, wait, why are we playing the 21st when you're trying to go on a mission?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, to hear her say it says that I've done my part of trying to raise her up around appropriate music, and also
bro.
love the live gig thing. Because, like, that's been me and my wife's thing. Like, she goes to every concert there is, any concert that comes down here. But, like, just you, like, just saying how you've maneuvered through all this adversity. And you have, man. Like, I can't believe how much I've learned just hearing you talk about your past, and and you just being the man you are today.
Sure, bro.
And having a supportive wife as well, man. Beautiful family.
Yeah, bro.
But I have to talk about your accomplishments in music. And, like, through COVID, man, like, that was tough on everyone.
Yeah.
But, like, the trip that just came about, that little you have to share it, man.
Yeah.
Because while you can lace it, you gotta share it.
Thanks,
Because
bro.
I know not everyone was following that. And it wasn't until I just stumbled, which I didn't know why the algorithm wasn't actually just letting me follow you naturally.
Right.
And it just happened when I was like, I wonder if you're singing or recording,
Yeah.
And then you were recording. And then all of a sudden, you're in San Francisco. And I was like, what the?
Yeah. How did that
Like,
happen?
how did that happen? Like, explain how that happened through. And that was run about lockdown, eh?
Yeah, definitely lockdown, I
So
think.
shall we take it back to when you first got to go on Homai Te Pakipaki?
Yeah,
you
sure.
have
We
to,
can
man, you have to.
take it back to that, bro.
Yeah.
But real quick, sorry, going just really quick. I forgot to mention it. This is my big thing as well. As much as we have been told as brown folk, this is who you are, this is who you have been, this is who you're going to be, right? We have the power to be able to change the narrative. And if we fall into that mindset and we fall into that template, right, then we're always going to be continuing on with that. But at the same time, the last thing that I want to say on that, so we don't go on it too much, was sometimes we, and I can attest to it, we psych ourselves out of situations. We are so preconceived, or we worry so much about, oh man, how is this person going to see me? How is this Palangi person going to see me? When 9 times out of 10, they don't even care that we are a different color to them. They don't even care that we have tattoos. They don't care that we have a beard. They don't care that, you rock a baldy and you dress a certain way. We do it to ourselves, and that was the cool conversation I had with my wife. Is like, she's like, okay, I get that. Us as, Pacific Islanders have been oppressed, and we've been through this, and we've been through this, and we've been through this. But sometimes more likely than others, we put ourselves in a place where we're going, oh man, all these walls are up around me. All of these things are there to limit me, but we just do it to ourselves, and then you're like. Then when you actually get to conversate and talk with these Palangi folk or educated folk, they are just like us. They're just like average Joes, or they started off like, I give an example. One of the lawyers, they started off in a household that would eat burnt toast every day, and when workers would look at it, they'd be like, oh, how can you eat burnt toast? But for him, that's normal. It's totally him, and it doesn't make him any less more important or less more amazing with what he does, but that's his story. And just because of where he is now, the end product, we think, oh, he's always had a silver spoon in his hand. He's always been born into wealth, but you don't realize the hard graft that's gone into it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that's just my thing on that I wanted to just leave there to encourage is don't fall into preconceived ideas, man. Don't fall into, you go into every space and you're judged straight away. Go in there with a fresh pair of lens on the situation and just be, like you said, be yourself.
Yeah. And then just take whatever actually comes at you.
Yes. And then
rather than thinking it's going to happen.
Exactly, bro.
Might not. You can't read people's minds. Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
We just think it.
we just think it. Don't always look for the worst case scenarios or,
And that comes all with just your identity and knowing who you are, right?
Yeah, bro.
That's massive, man. Just hearing Safotu on talk about it, because he works in the schools as a dean. Just him talk about it, it's like, man, if there's one struggle that kids have these days, and which is with the influences of technology, social media platforms, is the identity thing.
Big time.
And a lot of people have it, man. Like, you read books on great athletes now, like Sonny Bill, Ruby Tui, mentioning the struggle of identity, not knowing which color they belong to or what groups they are. But it's like, you're human first, man. Everyone's human before anything else,
Exactly. Yeah, so true. I mean, I look at myself and I'm as dark can be. Like I can joke and mock about myself. I got tattoos. Sometimes I'm so dark. You're wondering, are there tattoos there? It's like, you really get tattoos, or you might have, but like
LeBron James.
Yeah. and like what was I saying? Yeah, and so like I used to be like, because I grew up in the islands and grew up in Fiji, and because I didn't speak Fijian. Still to this day, I can't speak it fluently, or as good as I should for someone that grew up in the islands. And so sometimes I'm like, oh man, does that make me less of a Fijian?
Yeah.
Like because I pronounce words a certain way in high school, primary school, does that then make me less of a Fijian? But you are who you are, being confident in your identity, and even having a teachable spirit, that's what I'm wanting to do for my kids is because I can't speak the language as well as I should, I want to be able to try and learn and then pass it on to them, so that they know and they're confident when they go into a space. Yeah, I'm a Samoan, German, European, Fijian, African American. I'm a fruit salad, but I'm confident, in who I am. So sorry, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
That's all good.
Yeah. So you were saying going back to.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about your singing journey.
Singing journey, bro. Yeah. So, bro, real quick. So I started singing in church from the age of 3. That's my earliest memory in the choir. I used to watch my my mom, my uncle, my auntie, my nana perform in the choir. Some of them sang lead, mainly in the choir, and I just loved it from the age of 3. So that was a natural transition growing up in the churches. I'm going to serve in church, and I loved it, man. Like, you know, like just sing in church. So from the age of 3, so I did that from the age of 3. Got to join the choir with my nana, who was really another influential lady as well. God rest her soul. And we joined the choir together. That was really cool to sing alongside her. You know, one of the strongest sopranos going around, man. Like, she was in her late 60s and she could still kick it with the young female singers, you know, and then she was still like showing them what note they needed to hit. And I was like, yeah, that's the one. Awesome, man. You know, so started in church from 3, then to the age of, I was like 15. I was still singing in church. And then at the age of 15, I had a cousin who was in a band who was also my rugby coach too. So he goes, hey, cuz, I'm traveling over to Oz. Can you fill in for me at a show? And I was like, oh, yeah, sweet. I'm keen, man. And so it was just a gig at like Paz Park, you know, for the community. So we did a gig, sung with the band, and sung with them. And they're all, a lot of them were like old school cats in Fiji that like, you had a lot of years in them, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, you know. And so did the gig with them. And at the end of the gig, one of the guys, the guitarist I was singing about, Felix, he was like, man, bro, like, you be keen to join the band? Like, and the other members, yeah, we'd love for you to jump on and join the band. So I was like, oh yeah, cool. I'd love to join this covers band, you know, like I'm keen. But go back to principles. Because I knew that my uncle was the pastor, the 5 hour at the time, and I knew his principles, right? Yeah. And because the love and the respect I had for him, I wasn't going to be one of those. I mean, I wasn't a PK's kid, but you know, sort of like it was like, because I knew that the what's the word? What is the word? The traits of PK's kids is like, they're probably like the worst ones at the church, pastor's kids say, you know? And so I wasn't going to be one of those that because I was a singer and my uncle was the pastor, I wasn't going to dabble in both. So I made the decision that I was going to do the secular thing and sing in bands at the age of 15. So funny thing, I gigged at this nightclub, and then the next day I go to church. And so on my way, church finishes, I said to my uncle, hey, Uncle Ralph, I need to see you. He goes, yeah, come. I was like, I wanted to talk to you about something. And he goes, yeah, I wanted to see you about something too. So what I was going there to tell him was that, hey, I gigged at a nightclub. I know what the protocol is. I know what your views are on it and the church's view. I'm going to make the decision to do secular music. I'm not singing in church anymore because I don't want to bring you into disrepute, you know, your reputation, you know, no disrespect, but also because I don't want to do that. That's, you know, I know that's not God wants for me to do. So this is the decision I'm making. So anyways, I go to my uncle, I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah, I need to see you too. I was like, oh, yeah, you go first. And he goes, oh yeah, cool. He said, close the door. I was like, yeah. He said, did you have a gig last night? I was like, yeah, I had a gig last night. And he goes, okay, were you gigging at one of the nightclubs? And I was like, yep. Gigged at one of the nightclubs in the city. And then he goes, okay, yeah, no, because someone actually came to me to see me to sort of like make a complaint to let me know that they'd seen you in the clubs gigging at this nightclub. So the way that our church worked, so I grew up, this is no disrespect to I grew up proud AOG. We had a constitution. So if you were in the worship team, you couldn't go to bars. Even if you were going to a bar and eatery to eat, you couldn't be in there. So I knew this. So he said, oh yeah, a member of the church saw you in the clubs singing and having a few. So yeah, I just want to let you know that I'm going to have to suspend you. So in my mind, I'm going, dang, they beat me to it. Like I was coming to tell you, like I was being open and honest and saying, hey, this is what I did. And then I said, oh, well, it's funny you'd say that, because I was actually coming to let you know that I was dropping out of the worship team and the choir because of what I did, but also because I want to pursue my secular music. And then he goes, oh, okay. Really disappointed, obviously. The board of deacons said, oh, let's just keep him on. This is his first time he's done something like this. Let's keep him on. We'll, don't suspend him. Just allow him to still be in it. So he said, what do you want to do? I said, nah, I've made my decision. This is what I want to do. Like, I want to do the secular thing. And funnily enough, I was like, man, how did that member know that I was in the nightclub? Were they there themselves?
When they got in trouble? When did that person get in trouble?
Well, exactly. I was like, oh, it's like, how did they know? Were they there too, dancing to the Sunday morning I was singing? So I was like, okay, whatever. I know, gossip. it happens, and I was like, no, hey, I'm just being upfront with you. This is what decision I've made. He wasn't too happy about it. He still, supported me though. And then, did the covers thing from the age of 15. Kelston come over, the age of 17. I'm still doing the gigging thing. Totally switched off from footy at this time. I'm
Fully
drinking.
checked out.
Fully, yeah, exactly. Fully checked out. I'm like, no playing footy. Like I got suspended and I got the captaincy stripped. So I'm just like gigging hard out, drinking hard out, smoking weed hard out. And then, then Kelston comes knocking. So like, sweet, opportunity to come to New Zealand, fast forward, come to New Zealand. And then, so music wasn't really on my mind. I was like, okay, let me try and make it in this footy thing. And then obviously the boys heard at First 15 training that I was singing, reckon I should then audition for Homai Te Pakipaki. I auditioned for that. And honestly, I was just really fortunate to make it through A. I was fortunate to make it into one of the heats.
Because it was like phone audience, eh?
Yeah.
Or was it done within the studio?
Yeah, full on audience.
Was that the first season?
Yes, yeah. And it was like the first season, yeah. So like an audience and everything. And, sung my first song. I was fortunate to win that heat. There's some really good singers in that heat too. And then continued on with Homai and went into the semi-finals. And the semi-finals were stacked, man. The singers were crazy. They were so crazy. Like one of the singers that I sung against, apparently she used to sing at these clubs in the gigging scene over in like Botswana or something like that, some African country. But a really, really gifted singer, man. Had this guy that sung "Listen" by Herbs, sounded like them, just blown away, And I was just like, I was fortunate to make it to the finals. Right, so I made it to the finals, and then again battled a lot of great singers, and I was just honestly just grace of God fortunate that I was able to take out the finals and win a bit of money.
What was the song you won with?
Bro, so originally the song that I was going for was so Ordinary People. Or Sexual Healing. I think it was like Sexual Healing, Marvin Gaye. But last minute, probably like 2 hours before the show started, one of the singers had chosen Me and Mrs. Jones, the Michael Bublé version.
Oh, wow.
And he sung it and he killed it. But for some reason, he decided to change. He's like, oh, no, I don't want to do that now. So then I asked one of the producers, hey, like, seeing as he's not doing that song now, I know it wasn't on my list. Can I have that song? And they said,
Man.
and then they said, okay, but you can't rehearse. I think I didn't get to rehearse it. Yeah. There was no time.
So there was live. There was one
Yeah,
take.
that's pretty much just one take. So I was just like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I know it well enough. Like, I mean, I've heard it in the band. I heard him do it today. I should be sweet. Like, I think I know the cues.
So
And
he was singing it in rehearsal time.
in rehearsal,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then he decided to change. So I was just like, oh, can I have that song? Like,
Did you ask him
That's
why? Did you ask him the
self-sabotage.
reason?
huh?
He self-sabotaged himself.
But yeah, because I
was
reckon
a
he
good
would
song.
have. Yeah, it was a good song, man.
Did you ask him the reason why he changed?
Oh, I think I did. I can't remember why. I think he just said like, I think he just wasn't feeling the song. Like he didn't feel that it was gonna do it for him that night. I think that's what he said. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what he said. And so I was just like, oh, bro, like, and I think I asked him, I said, bro, if you're not gonna do, can I do this? Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, have it, cuz. I was like, oh, sweet. So then I asked, I was like, can I do this song? And man, like I was just really comfortable with the song. It just suited, I think, my vocals, it just worked. I was familiar because I had already, like, little side story, I grew up in a household where my mom played everything old school, like, but I got to listen to everything, rock, country, and I had heard the 1977 version of it by Billy Paul, which is just OG, man.
Yeah.
And so I already knew the song, like it was on our family playlist, so I was familiar with it. And so the Bublé version just had some little changes to it, but I was like, yeah, I'll try that one, and it paid off, which I was really lucky, man.
It was solid jam, man. He got everyone who probably didn't even like that or even hear that song liking it.
Thanks,
Bro,
bro.
it was
That's a
like,
classic
damn.
song, man.
That's,
Yeah, it is a classic song. Yeah, so I was fortunate to win that. And then what did I do after that? Won it, and that's when I had the bad suicide state. That's when I was in that. So I was like drinking every day. And because I'm such a giving person, I was going, and my bro, you said you used to see me at Opal, karaoke, and I was like, because I can be a loner too. So I was like at Opal singing by myself, and obviously I had money with me. Then my uncle would give me money, but I'd literally go drink, sing, pay for people's drinks if I could. And then even the boys, man, like some of the boys we used to catch up with and drink out in like Glen Eden or something. I used to be like, "Hey, Sully, you going out today?" Yeah. I said, "Bro, here's like $300. Go ahead." And so it didn't it wasn't, I was just like, "Oh man, like have fun. I'm having fun. You're having fun." But I wasted that money, man. Yeah. And then, met my wife, and all I had to offer her at the time was just my love. Because I wasted that money, being foolish.
How much money was it? The prize money?
So the prize money was 10K.
Oh, wow.
Prize money was 10K. The heat, if you won your heat, was 1K.
Oh.
So 11K all up, man. And for a 18-year-old, 18? Yeah, 18. I think 18, 19, something like that. It was not bad. Not a bad amount of money to have. So then I sort of, did that. And was I like serving at church? Sort of starting off to serve at church. You went to the West City out here. I think it's called Church Unlimited now.
Yeah.
So I went there, served there for a bit, not too much. And then, wow, where did my journey go from there? And then I hadn't been singing really for ages. Oh, and then I linked up with a band. I linked up with this band out west, man. So we there was a tsunami relief concert for when the for Samoa in 2009. And so did the tsunami relief concert, and one of the Usos that was in my English class, Graham Sopoi, his brother used to play. I think he played like Roosters coming through, and his brother was Lance. He's a Bible now, but he was Warriors as well, And so those boys went to church with some of the other Usos that was playing that day, and they had this band called 180. So I performed before them with like karaoke tracks, and then they performed after. And so, bro, honestly, this is God, eh? And then I went back to school on Monday, and then Graham was like, "Sully, my cousin, he's asking if you want to go join their band." I was like, "Oh, like what?" I said, "Remember they jammed after us?" "Oh, bro, they were tight. They were mean." So yeah, they wonder if you want to join. So I went to the rehearsal, met them. As I went to the rehearsal and I met them, we were conversating and talking. The homestay that I was staying with, because I wasn't living with, obviously I'd come over here for the scholarship. They had told me probably a month prior, a few weeks prior, "Hey, I'm sorry, we can't look after you while you attend Kelston. We're doing renovations. We're not going to have a room for you." So I had nowhere to go. And so I mentioned this to the Uso, the Hano family. I love those guys. The Hano family, they're amazing. They found that out at the rehearsals. We got to the home. They had a feed out Bitten Place off Universal Drive. And the dad finds out, and he comes to me, and I'm the new guy in the band, or just about to join, and he gives me a Samoan name. He's like, "What's his name?" He's like, "Oh, Roland." And then he's like, "Hey," his name was Louis. I call him Dad. And he's like, "Hey, Lolangi." And I was like, "Hey," he's like, "Lolangi, come here." And I was like, "Oh yeah, hey sir." He's like, "Oh hey, you had something?" He was like, "Yeah, thank you." And then he just, without even knowing me, meeting me that day, he goes, "Hey, you need somewhere to stay?" I was like, yeah, I have to try and find somewhere. He said, "Okay, you get your stuff, you come stay here. No rent, no nothing. You just come and you live here. You stay with us." And like I said, those prayers from my nana, through the years, those prayers for people in my family, people that were always in my corner, God's provision, eh? Like, I was in a place where I literally had nowhere to stay. But this Samoan family, who I consider them family to me to this day, reached out and was just like, the dad was like, "Stay here. Don't worry about anything. You stay with us. We got you." Bro, and I was just like, just humbled, eh? Like, to be through everything that I've been through and to see God's hand in every area, bro. I wasn't quite on song at church at the time. Like, I wasn't fully, where I needed to be. But just to see God still showing up, you know what I mean? I was just like, man, provision, eh? And like, I went back. I think I told my mom, and she was like, okay, like what? How much is the fee like to stay? Because I think the family I was staying was paying like about $400 a week or $400 because it was a half scholarship, so $400 a week or $400 a month or something. My mom's the only one working. Yeah, and they said, no, we don't want your money. You just come and stay here. We don't want anything from you. We just want you to come and stay with us. And yeah, so joined that band. It was called 180. The band was called 180. And that was cool, man. Some good times jamming with them. They were just so giving, man. They're just such a giving family.
What are some places you guys played? 180.
Wow, 180. We played, where did we play? Oh, we played at the Parachute Festival.
Oh, yeah.
So we did that down at, it was in Mystery Creek, I think.
Hamilton, eh?
Yeah, so we did that. We played there. We played at, Sports Camp. And such we used to play there. We used to play like weddings and stuff and birthdays. And that was awesome, man. Like, it was good fun. Like, I think that sort of started me getting back into the music a bit. But at the time, I was still, unfortunately, really heavy on the booze, man. Really, really into that. But I sort of started getting into gigging with them at different events and stuff that were happening. Doing a bit of BVs as well, backing vocals, which was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And then fast forward. I'm going to fast forward because, I just sort of slowed down with the gigs and stuff. Oh, man, I used to attend Ranui AOG.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Coolest thing ever, man. Even though I didn't understand anything, I still loved it though. Like, it was cool, man. Like being in community with them, and I guess because I grew up AOG, so like it was really awesome. They took me in, like the church just like embraced me as like their long lost Fijian son, like just come local, have a feed and all this sort of stuff, and part of the worship team there. But then fast forward, like I met my wife, and like I said, man, that woman has had my back, like through it all, like just like I said, I arrived in I came to our marriage with nothing, literally nothing, bro. But she, love, she didn't care, like, vulnerable moment. I'm a pretty open person, but a real vulnerable moment. So we were to get married, and obviously, with a bride and a groom, a fiance, they buy each other's rings. Yeah, I honestly had no money, bro. Like, I literally could not afford a ring. Kid you not. And she was just, again, so giving, man. She just said, nah, I got us. Don't worry. I just want you. Like, like this is us together. Like, what I have is yours. What you have is mine. We got each other, and so we journeyed together. We went to so many karaoke competitions, man.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Oh, that was fun. It was good. It was like, but it was a really funny time because people remembered me from Homai. So, bro, I did this.
Drop out?
No, bro, no, like, bro. I did this karaoke competition at what's that bar in what's the place in Pamua? Landmark. So the Landmark bar, it's the bar when you come into Pamua town centre and you hit that little roundabout that takes you to Pakuranga.
Yes,
the bar in the corner.
Yes, big one.
So I did this karaoke competition, and it was so funny. Like I'm not a person to blow my own trumpet, but like we banged it out. We had all our songs, we sang, and amazing singers. And I was talking with the wife, and she said, "Nah, I'm sure you can win this for sure. You can win this for sure." And I was like, "You sure?" There's like 1,500 was the prize money. So I was like, "Lord, please," because at this time I was like, I want to be able to give something, as a man, eh? And so, anyways, they were announcing the names. Then I go through the names, bro, and and then someone comes and like, "Oh yeah, you were the singer on Homai, eh?" Like, yeah. And so apparently, what I'd heard was that the not trying to be controversial, the girl that won it, her fams were like somehow connected to the competition. Bro, I ended up placing 8th.
Oh, wow.
But it was good though. Like, my wife and I had a laugh about it, eh? She was like, "What? I can't believe you placed 8th." She's like, you really killed it with all your performances, And I was like, yeah, I really tried my best too. and then they were announcing it, and there's like, and 9th place, and then they're like, in 8th place, Roland Williams, and I was just like, Oh, damn. A bit of humble pie, you know, like, but like, I mean, it's not like I was a cocky dude anyway, but I was just like, okay, Lord, please, like, I'm sure I can at least top 3, surely. Bro, and then it's like, no, you're in that top 8. So like my wife was like, she was really disappointed. She's like, how could they do that? And like, that's so not fair. And I'm sure they looked at it just because you want Homai, like, you know, you shouldn't be singing in something like this. And I was like, oh, well, it's all good, babe. You know, they give it to them, you know, it's all good. No, we just roll on. We do something else, and then ended up getting into other karaoke competitions, and we just went from place to place. And the furthest one we drove to was Parakai. So we drove up there, and it was cool, man. That was an awesome competition. Did that, bro, and I think I placed. I think I was 4th.
So obviously all these bars knew that you were coming.
Yes.
There's obviously a movement of bars.
The word is going around, and I was just like, I mean, I didn't expect to win. That's my thing. Like, I really didn't expect to win. The guy that won it, no lies, I forgot his name. I wish I remembered his name. Was this amazing moldy dude, man. But he like had everything. His sound was on point. His song selection was flawless, and his attire. So each song he would change.
Oh, the man.
I can be pretty slack with that stuff where like sometimes I don't change. Like, I'll just wear like probably the same outfit, just change the jackets. And I think my wife was giving me a bit of advice. She's like, you should like probably just try and change it up. And I was like, nah, it's all good. And I didn't change. And sure enough, the man ended up, you know, like winning it. So I placed 4th. And then, yeah, and that was pretty much that journey with the karaoke stuff, bro.
You know, hearing that little story about karaoke around Auckland,
Yeah.
just makes me think how big it is. The karaoke, man. Like, I know karaoke is big, but man, when you're talking about actually touring around Auckland to win money, like that could be a thing for some people, for a person.
I just found out last year there is a world karaoke. So in one of the trips to the States. Last year with my wife, we were walking through Vegas. We'll touch on that too. But we were walking through Vegas, and someone we knew flew to Vegas for the World Karaoke Championship.
Wow.
And the prize money, bro, was like 20-something K, 30K, something like that. So there's some good money like that's there to be won. You know, and even the ones like around Auckland and the bars and stuff, real good money, man. You know, like any money is good money, you know. So like 1K, 1.5, 2K is good, man.
Especially for something real fun like that.
Something fun, you know, and you know, seeing people get into character and stuff, you know, like oh, bro, people get into character. One of the funniest moments was, take it back to Point Chef RSA. I didn't realize at the time, but guess who was one of our judges? Cindy of Samoa.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh wow, yes, oh wow. And I sung Sexual Healing, and that was the funniest critique I've ever given. I've ever been given.
Remember what she said?
Yeah, it was something along the lines of like,
Look into my eyes only.
look into my eyes. Nah, jokes. It's something along the lines of like, you're singing Sexual Healing, but I didn't feel the sex.
Wow. Marla Cindy.
Marlo and Cindy,
Sure.
man. But, you know, funny, like, you know, years later, you know, I met my wife and stuff, and we'd go to, like, the jam sessions for musicians that they would have around Auckland. And Cindy was right in the middle of it, you know, just laughing my head off at it.
Because I remember she was doing her karaoke, taking her karaoke around there. She was at West City when they used to have the bowling.
Oh, yes.
Used to have it there.
Yeah, yeah.
Extreme,
yeah.
Yeah. But not, yeah, I mean, karaoke is massive, bro. It's huge. Yeah. Fast forward. I was fortunate to be in a band that was a resident band for Sky City. You know, one of the Kelston old boys in there too. One of the guys that I really have a lot of respect for, Isaac Itamani, he was in that unit as well. Kelston old boy, and that was such a cool experience, you know, to be able to play music with those guys and be in a resident band at a premier location like Sky City was cool, man. That was good. Like, I really enjoyed that. A lot of learnings as a frontman, and someone trying to hype up a crowd and get them, you know, like really enjoying what you're doing.
So during this time, you just full-time singing? Full-time?
So like I stopped singing like in church and stuff for 7 years. Got back into singing at church. Did a little stuff here and there. Joined up with some other Kelston Usos, Chris and Mark Mareko, Kelston boys. So we joined the band with them. They were awesome dudes, man. Funny guys too, but they were really good because they had my back as well. They'd always look out for me, and they'd always make sure I was sorted and stuff. So just a little bit back, that someone family that I stayed with, they were the Hano family, and the brothers that I was in the band with was Luke, Harold, and Brian was one of the brothers. I stayed with him. We jammed now and then, but the other two brothers, Luke and Harold, would always have my back. They were the big brothers, man. Like they looked out for me. So when they moved on, they told Chris and Mark, hey, look after the Uso. This is our little bro. Like make sure he's sorted and stuff like that. And, if he needs like you guys for gigs and stuff, just like be there for him. So they were there for me, these guys, and we did gigs together and we had some fun times together, man. And obviously, Chris and I came onto the Auckland scene, Mareko, at the same time. So literally the same time we got gigging, Chris got gigging too. He was doing his thing. And so he branched off and did what he was doing. And then I was just fortunate. Oh man, my gigging actually started, Mangry Tavern, Wanderers. I gigged with this unit there. And it was awesome, man. Like, oh man, the vibe there was awesome. Old school, just a bunch of real cool, real people, They were amazing, and that was a good time. So I really enjoyed jamming with them. And so it's quite a regular fixture there, jamming with that band. And then I was just fortunate to get asked into this new band to fill in for a gig. Yeah. Funny, my first ever gig for this band, man, with Isaac, with Itamani. Isaac Itamani was for the KCs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was for wedding. It was awesome, man. Like it was a hell of a gig, good fun, good solid unit, man. We had some really great musicians in there. It was just a great time, like just jamming with those guys. But it was amazing because in the 3 years that I was part of the band, I learned a lot about what it took to be a frontman, but also the business side of things too. Obviously bearing in mind that I'm a husband and a father first, musician second, and making sure that the decisions I was making was benefiting my wife and my kids. So
when it comes to that business side of stuff,
yes,
was that hard to get into it, because you actually have got to be strong,
You have to,
like with contracts, or
yes,
when it comes by, you actually have to stand up for yourself if you don't think it's fair, or
definitely,
or know your worth. Know your worth is the biggest thing.
That's the
biggest thing.
Yeah,
and I feel like, I don't know how you dealt with it, but I feel like some people, it's hard to know what their worth is, and they'll just settle for whatever it's given.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what we do as Pacific folk as well. Like we tend to just settle, and we don't know what our worth is, so we tend to go off what other people tell us. Oh, hey, this is your price tag, or this is what I think you're worth. Or the biggest word that we get thrown out for our Pacifica people, or just anyone in general. Oh, can you come and do this gig? It's exposure. Exposure.
The exposure ones.
The exposure line,
Yeah, the exposure or the IOU favors.
Exactly.
My kids ain't getting fed on exposure, man.
Exactly. I'm like, I'll feed them on the letter E today, and then X tomorrow, and then P the next day, And so that the big exposure gigs were like, they were like just not, I mean, learnings again, but it's definitely those conversations. And so again, I take it back. I'm glad that my wife was business minded, because I wasn't able and confident enough to say, hey, this is what I'm worth. Hey, this is under my price. I needed to be a bit more. And having the confidence to say that, and not backtrack or settling for less, say. So there were tough conversations to have. But over time, with having honest conversations with my wife as well, and some of the older Usos as well, and Ice was one of them too. Tamani, he would always say to me, I always make sure that, shout out Ice, man, when you do a gig, that it's covering the amount of time you're away from your family. It's covering the petrol that you're you're needing to get to the gig, you know, looking at those sorts of things and factoring in everything.
Yeah.
You know, and my wife, I told her, I don't want a manager. I want you to manage me. And even though as hard as I am to manage, like she really like kicked my butt when I was settling for less or just going with whatever. She had really honest conversations with me about, hey, you need to figure out why you're doing this thing. Obviously you love music, but you got to make sure that it works as well for the collective and works for us as a family. Yeah, so that was that side of things, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is really awesome.
So how did they come about? Like, because all of a sudden we're in lockdown, these videos are popping up, and I'm wondering why my algorithm isn't just showing all your videos. Like, man.
Yes, bro. So like lockdown. So for 3 months, right? So for 3 months, I obviously on Insta I had started following Wanya Morris from Boyz II Men, and he would do these lives. Every Wednesday. So our Thursday, their Wednesday, because they're behind us. So he'd do these lives, man, and I'd see him let people on to talk or to sing, and so I used to request every time he was on. So I'd see the notification, 1 year's live, click, sweet. So while I'm at work, as a youth worker, typing up my reports, I'm listening to it and trying to request. So for 3 months, I did that non-stop. 3 months. And the funniest thing was, because when I would see it, he would let on a lot of the ladies on, you know? And I was thinking, wow, what a sad guy. He's just letting on the ladies, you know? Like, so I had those conversations. And I was like, bro, where's the fellas at? And then I started to see some guys there. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's letting on the guys. So then this one day, I was literally sitting on my desk, typing up a case note for a student. And I sent the request, a live request. Bro, and then as I'm sitting there, like typing and then just citing my phone and listening, I see this thing load up saying, Wanya Morris wants to go live with you. And then it's loading up, you know? And so by then, bro, and as soon as I saw that thing come out, I was like gobsmacked. And so I had my little Samsung AirPods in. I left my desk and I walked outside. So I was thinking, oh my gosh, where can I sing? Where can I sing? I got nowhere to sing. I'm at work. I'm sitting in my office. I can either go sing in the toilet, but someone might be in the toilet. The boardrooms are busy. So I was like, okay, I got nowhere else to go. I'm going to have to go sing under this tree. So I used to work at a place called ATWC, the Anglican Trust for Women and Children, in Otahu. And so I walked over and I sung by this tree. But the funniest thing was, as I'm walking over, I'm accepting the request to go live. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't believe it. I got the video on my Instagram page. I was like, oh my gosh, bro, like I can't believe that you accepted. And he was just like, yo, what's up, man? What's good? Like he was talking to me on Instagram, bro. And I was like, I was just buzzing out, man. I could have probably like fainted, man. I was like, oh no, I couldn't believe it, eh? And I was like, oh man, thank you. Like I'm a huge fan of yours from New Zealand. I walked over to the tree and then he's like, yo, what's up, man? Like, and then he was like, and then I said, oh, I'm a musician too. And he was okay, you gonna sing something? I think that's what he said. And then I was like, yeah, I'll sing something. And I sang Freddie Jackson, Rock With Me Tonight. One of my all-time favorites, bro. Yeah, bro. But the funniest thing was, because I was hiding under the tree and staff were like driving into the place, staff were driving in, I was trying to not be seen or heard, right? Because I just started this job. So I'm like, dang. Anyways, I was singing, but the funniest thing was, as I was singing, I was reading the comments, and people were going, "Oh, I love," because they could hear the birds in the background in the trees, and so I started to sing, and I did that "Rock With Me Tonight." And as I finished the song, so cool, finished it, I was like, "Yo, thank you, brother." And he goes, "Yo, man, my man, let me." That was, he was happy with what I'd done. And he goes, "Yo, let me just tell you something. I got some critique." I was like, "Cool, man. I always appreciate critique." And then he said to me, he goes, you did really well on the song. He said, but one of the parts in the song where people expect you to go up, you didn't go up. You chose to bring it down. And I said, yeah. And he said, one of the things about singing a cappella is if you're going to do songs like that, people are going to want to hear those parts. And when you don't do it, it's like they've missed out on what they're used to hearing. Yeah. He said, and what also helps there too is bringing the key down if it's too high and you can't hit the note. And so I really appreciated the critique. I was like, yeah, man, like, I'll definitely learn from it. And then
did you tell him I'm at work? I don't want anyone to hear me.
Bro, to be honest, I should have. I honestly should have. But I think I was like too shy to do anything. or just to look any sort of way. So I was like, okay, yeah, man, like, my bad, I'll do better next time. And then he goes, yo, my man, he said, come back. I want you to come back on my live in a couple of weeks' time. I'll be doing a competition, and I want you to audition to be on it. And I was like, yeah, definitely, I'm there, man. But when I was in such a state, I hadn't even screen recorded what I had just done.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, damn, I just like that special moment, like being able to sing for the great Wanya Morris. Like, I just didn't get it. Like, I didn't record it at all or screen record it. So I walked away and I was like, I was pretty gutted about that. Like, oh, no, I can just say I did it, but no one saw it, you know? And so, funnily enough, one of the Usos, Sam Brown.
Oh, man.
You know Sam Brown, man. Yeah. Lifestyle worship, you know? Yeah. He tagged me in a story, and he goes, I forgot what it said. It was something along the lines of, it's great to see two of my favorite voices or something like that, or my favorite singers, Mauso. Or I think it was Mauso getting to sing, you know, in front of the great Wanya Morris. And I was like, oh, he got it. And then another one of the boys who I was in one of the bands with, he sent me a screen record. And he's like, bro, you go on his page, you screen record your portion, and it'll have it on there. So anyways, like, I was able to do that and keep it for myself. And then I auditioned. So I auditioned for him. I sang for him like a couple weeks later. He had started doing auditions. So I sang for him and his daughter. And my connection, for some reason, the internet was playing up again. I was like, dang, I was at work. But the funny thing is, the week that my boss heard me singing, I didn't realize my boss was actually watching the performance of me under the tree. So she came into the office and she goes, why didn't you tell me you were singing for 1 year? I was like, I didn't know if I was allowed. She goes, you crazy? That's like, you know, R&B royalty. She was like, next time you have to sing, you tell me and we'll find somewhere for you to go sing. A quiet place so you can sing properly and do what you need to do. So I explained to her when the time was. And she was like, okay, book one of the boardrooms. You can have the room. You can set up what you need to set up and just sing. You know, and just do your work there. So, you know, things were falling into place. You know, my work was willing to work with me on that and just give me that opportunity. So I sang again for him and his daughter for my auditions 2 weeks later. And I did, what's the song? My, Johnny Gill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I sang my, Johnny Gill. He was blown away again, really impressed, you know, and I was humbled again, you know, and he was just like, you know, welcome to the competition. And I was buzzing, well, I was still buzzing, and it was crazy because every singer that came on there, you know, like I was saying about preconceived ideas and psyching yourself out, I was psyching myself out. Like, I see these amazing singers, I'm like, whoa, he's got this falsetto and they got this range, and they do this and they do this. There's no way that I can even compete with that, you know. And I was just really fortunate. Out of all the people that had auditioned, he settled on 66 contestants for the show. And I was one of them. And I was just blown away, bro. Like, I couldn't believe the position that I was in, the opportunity I was able to be given, to converse with this guy, to have him put me in a group chat with him included. And we're conversating, and he's saying, oh, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I've seen. This is what's coming up, and communicating on the daily. And I was just like pinch me, like, bro, this is crazy. Like, to think that all those years of grinding and all the hard work, and you get an opportunity like this that you never would ever see coming, you know. And I was just like, just grateful for every opportunity, man. So grateful, you know. And I was fortunate, you know, battling it out, competing, to make it to the semifinals. So from 66, he cut it down to 20.
So this is all online?
All online. So just all on Instagram Live. And so you play your track. And so some of the guys who are really onto it, they have this thing called an iRig where they hook up the sounds, and the sound that they project on a microphone comes across crisp and sounding good. And
is that what you had?
Nah, man. I had karaoke track playing over a speaker. Once was playing over a Bluetooth speaker, and the other time was playing over my laptop hooked up to the work speaker in the boardroom. And that's all I had, you know. But then, because I started to see people bringing their A game and switching up their outfits, and I was like, oh, I got to do the same too. You know, I can't make the mistake that I did in my karaoke comps, you know. I got to bring it too. So, you know, one stage there, I rocked like a black and gold dress jacket, and that was cool. And that really lifted, I think, the performance as well, but like made it to the semi-finals, got to battle some really amazing singers, man. Really, really like killer singers that I got to battle. And so each week he'd have an outline of how the show would go. So he'd go, okay, this week, you're going to find out, I think, only probably like the day before, who you're battling, and you'll find out, I think you find slightly earlier the song that you're singing, but they don't tell you who you're going to battle. Then they tell you, oh, this is who you're going to battle. This is the person you're going to battle. And some of them you've never met before. You see them on their heats. So when you get to battle, it's like mano a mano, like, let's go. Yeah. Like, you're bringing what you can bring, I'm bringing what I can bring. And you just battle it out, man. And some great times. I was fortunate to make it to the semis. To my song selection, man, for my semi-finals, I chose to sing. What did I choose to sing? At Last, Etta James. I chose to sing that song, man, and I love the song, man. I really love the song, but I think just based off what everyone else had brought, I didn't quite bring. Like, I felt I brought it vocally, but one of the judges just wasn't feeling it that day. I didn't shift into the next gear that I had, but I just didn't tap into, and so I didn't make it through. And one of the most annoying things, man, one of the judges, when I sang At Last and I finished my performance, he was like, oh my goodness, like, yeah, that song reminded me of when I used to go visit my grandma at the rest home. She'd be eating green jello. And I was like, in my head, I was like, if I could reach through the screen and just give you a little slap. No, but and we had this, and also in the comments, because as you're performing on a live, or as you just talk it on live, you can see the comments people are saying. And man, this guy was hammering me like this. He's a comedian. I think it's like Darren Coley. This comedian, he was just laying into me in the comments, man. But I had to keep my composure, like I couldn't be the hot-headed person that I usually am. I was just like, okay, like I'm wearing on the chin. I didn't bring it today, I didn't bring my A game, which, in all honesty, I didn't. I went with a safe option and something that I knew, as opposed to something that could have pushed me, and yeah, so I didn't make it to the finals. But then at the end of all that, did the finals, the deserved winner won it, this amazing singer by the name of Jana Brown, really gifted, man. And then his assistant reaches out on Insta. So we still got a group chat thingy. Still a group chat with the great Wanya, man, and
must be nice.
Right, it's cool. We still got it to this day.
Yeah.
And then we have a bit of banter on there and stuff like that. And,
Did you even ask some questions about Boyz II Men in the old days? Like,
yeah,
what went wrong and all? Because how they lost Michael.
Yes.
Michael
so
left.
I honestly, I wanted to, but I didn't really have the courage, because I'd seen other YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff that had covered that, or people that, reckon they know what had happened. So I didn't want to, I guess, sort of like ruffle any feathers, So I just left it at that. But I wanted to, bro. But I asked him about other stuff. What else is I going to say? Yeah, and it was just so cool. So his assistant reaches out, and then the assistant's like, hey, we're doing a reunion. So the way it worked is, Wanya was only going to fly out the top 3 that won. Or he only wanted for free, he'd fly them out. And so he goes, the assistant reaches out and says, so Wanya is thinking of doing a reunion for the One Wednesday season 1 alumni. And he's wondering if you'd like to come to Vegas to meet him with a full itinerary. And I just I nearly died, bro. I nearly died. I remember sitting in my lounge at home, bro. Just so...
Did it feel like you being parked, or?
Huh?
Did it feel like...
Bro, I was
good one.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, bro, is this real? Is this fake? But because she had been communicating with us, I knew that it was legit. But I was just so... Wow. Lost for words, bro. So humble. humbled by it. So, like, you grind and you grind and you grind for years. You have people tell you that you're not good enough. You're never gonna make it. You tell yourself. I was still saying, "Oh, nah, you just," because people used to always say to me,
Yeah.
"Oh, bro, I love your tone of your voice. You have such a distinct tone." And I used to go, because I'm not musical, like I never studied. I'm like, "What are you on about tone? I want to be able to trill and do all these fancy things vocally and sing high like Brian McKnight and all this sort of stuff, But people say, "No, I love your tone." And even Wanya said it, he used to say, "Bro, your tone, man." He used to say, "Bro, your voice butter, man. It's just like butter." Like, and so it really gave me an appreciation for it, bro. And the stuff that my wife had always been telling me, honey, like, you just really be comfortable in who you are, And so to get that opportunity and to have him say, she said, that Wanya wants you to come to the reunion,
Man.
I can't even describe it to this day, man. Like,
of that year, it was one of the biggest and like best individual wins for the brotherhood.
yeah,
Because when the video appeared, it was like we shared it and we're like, "But we're supporting you."
wow,
We're watching,
yeah,
And then what came after it was like, man, you're
Bro.
there.
yeah,
You made it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
even just being like, selected, like him accepting your the live request.
The request, yeah, definitely.
Like even that was like, wow,
That was huge.
it was massive, bro.
That was, yeah. I mean, like you said, even that itself was massive, and then to have the opportunity to fly over. But that's where the journey began, because I'm so big on when I win, and like, when things go well, I want to be able to experience that with my number one, like with my wife. Like, I want to do this with you, and so. We're by no means rich or well off, we grind every day, we work hard for our kids and our family. And so, she was like, "Lon, you got to do this. You can't not do this. We'll work it out. We'll figure out if we're going to get like a loan or something to get you going. We're going to do this, And so, we started to piece together things and figure out how it was going to go. And then, I reached out to a friend of mine because I got a few friends that stay in San Francisco. I was like, "Hey, when you're free, like, can I talk to one of you? I'm planning to come over." And then one of the boys who I used to throw discus with in Fiji, I called him, I messaged him, and he goes, "Oh, bro, I'm actually busy. I'm doing something. Give me a call later." So I said, "Oh, bro, I have to go sing at church on Sunday. When I finish church and I get home, I have a Sunday feed, and I'll call you." He said, "Yeah, do that." So I'm in praise and worship on Sunday. And one of the songs is it goes, so when I fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. So in my head, as I'm singing this, I'm saying in my head, I'm like, "Lord, I'm giving this to you. This is your gift. Everything that I am is yours. If it is meant that I'm meant to go on this trip, like, please, Lord, like let me know. Give me a sign." And at the same time, because God's ways and thoughts are higher than ours, I was like, but if it's not meant to be, I'm okay with that too. And so I sing the first service, 9 a.m. service, and then in between the 9 a.m. service, I see one of the people in our life group, this awesome couple, man. They just love this family, man. And the guy's wife, her name's Viv. She goes, "Hey, brother, how are you?" He goes, "Oh, good. And I said, just... busy week and all this sort of stuff, and then she was going, and I think she knew about the show. I think because we'd talk about it in the group when we'd catch up for dinners and stuff. And she said, "So, I said, "Yeah, but something's come up with the Wanya thing." She goes, "Oh yeah, what's happened?" And I said, "Oh hey, like this trip." And she goes, "Brother, you got to do it. You got to, and God will provide a way, but you have to do it." And she said, "Obviously talk with your wife, decide on it together." I said, "Yeah, definitely." And then, God will provide, and he'll give you a sign. So I went back, did the 11 a.m. service, same song, praying in my head. I get home, and then I call my mate. His name's Celestino. And I was like, we see each other, we haven't seen each other for years. So we do our slang that we say to each other. We're like, hey, some bro. He goes, "Bro, it's been a long time." We're like talking, and he's sitting in the car. And then I said to him, he goes, "So what's this singing thing?" And I said, "Oh, bro, I was on an Instagram live with Wanya Morris." And he goes, "Oh, yeah. And I said, "That guy from Boyz II Men." And yeah, like I made to the semis, but he's offered me an opportunity to come over to the States, and I was just wondering if I could come and stay at your house. And then he goes, so you're gonna do it? And I said, we'll see. I said, I just want to see if I have somewhere to stay. I said, but we'll see. We'll see if I'll come. And he goes, what do you mean we'll see? You gotta do it, bro. And I hadn't seen him in about 13 years. Last saw him in high school. We're really close friends. We used to party together, we used to drink together. We were back in high school, really close, man. And he said, so what's one of the reasons why you're not going to do the trip? And I said, bro, you're like, I'll quarantine, like fees, flights are expensive. I said, quarantine's expensive. And he goes, what do you mean quarantine? I said, so when I come to the States, when I come back home, I have to quarantine in a facility here for 14 days. And he goes, oh, really? I said, yeah. And he goes, what's the cost for that? I was like, oh, it's $3,100. And he goes, I'll pay it. And I was like, what? He said, is it $3,100 for the quarantining fee? And I said, yeah, bro. And he goes, I'll pay for your quarantine. Bro, and I just like, I nearly cried, man. I was just like, man, Lord, like, when you move, man. Like, when you call, you not only equip us, but you make sure that we have all we need, yeah, like my mate offering to pay $3,100 out of his pocket. He just no hesitation. He's like, I'll pay it. He's like, you have to do this. You'd be mad. You'd be crazy not to do this, bro. I got you. I was like, are you serious? Like, I was trying to make sure. My wife is like flipping out. She can't believe it, sitting beside me on the couch, and I'm sitting on the phone. And they say, yeah, I'll pay it. No worries. He said, just give me the details. I'll sort it out. And yeah, of course, come and stay with me. And that call, he's off to dinner. I'm like, just mind blown, bro. Mind blowing. Jaw dropped so low. It's like I can't even pick it up, I'm like so grateful, so humble, like, and I guess for me too, like no matter what space I am able to go into or shoulders I'm able to rub, like people I'm able to rub shoulders with, like I said before, like humility is always such a big thing for me, like being so grateful for every opportunity. And when he said that day, bro, it was just like confirmation, and just, man, God, you're crazy, man, but you're good, like, but you're crazy. And yeah, bro, like things fell into place. I was able to, someone was able to pay for my airfares to get me over. Someone gave me some money, had a bit of money they were able to get. Flew over to the States. Funniest thing happened when I get to the States, though. I get in there, and then this Latino guy, a Mexican, he's like, hey, man, what are you here for? And I'm like, just come from New Zealand, and I don't know, like, the lingo. He's like, are you here for business or pleasure, man? And I'm like, both. And he was just like, okay. Well, what do you do? I said, and I work as a youth worker. He goes, are you a youth advocate? And I was like, yeah. He goes, okay. He's like sizing me up the whole time. He's like, okay. And what do you do? I said, I'm here for music. And he's like, yo, man, I believe you, man. I believe you, but I'm going to have to send you to this room, man. And I was like, what? And it was like, the funniest thing there, because like, I turned around and like this plane full of like heaps of like colored folk like had just landed as well. And I was just like, oh man, poor guys, they probably have to experience the same thing I experienced, eh? And so I was like, okay, what do you mean? He goes, I'm gonna have to send you into this room, man. Like, I believe you, man, but I'm just saying, like, why do you want to come to the States now? And I was like, just because for singing, and and I sort of explained a bit of the reason why I was coming, and he was looking at me like really sassy. He was like, okay, man, all right, well, you're just gonna have to follow my colleague over here, and you go into that room. And I was like, oh dang, cavity check, not check. And then went into this room, but he did not tell me as I'm walking to the room, phones were not allowed to be used. So as I go into this room, and I got my cell phone on me, even if it's cinema, I can't play on my cell phone, even if I'm playing a game. And every immigration, so they were called the CB, Customs and Border Protection. You guys, I don't know if you guys watch border security. Yeah. They're pretty much border security, bro. And as I'm sitting there, like Loads of people are coming through, and I'm like, I want to pull out my phone, but I can't. And then I see the signs, and he goes, phones are not prohibited. And I'm like, dang. And my phone is blowing up. It's vibrating. It's going off. I know it's my wife who's worried.
Yeah.
What's happened to me? And the only way we're communicating is through, like data and Viber. That's how we're communicating. But I know she's blowing up my phone, like trying to figure out, am I okay? But I can't pick it up. So anyways, I'm like, I get up. Bro, and they're all packing. They all got guns, bro.
Yeah.
There's kind of this kind. I'm like, oh, hey, brother, could I just use the bathroom? And he goes, what was that, man? I was like, can I use the bathroom? And he goes, yeah, sure, you can use the bathroom. Go through here. Then he goes, yo, hold up, man. You got your phone on you? And I was like, yep, it's in my pocket. He goes, I'm going to need your phone. And I was like, what? He was like, you can't take your phone to the bathroom, man. I was like, why? He goes, because you just can't. See, the phone's not prohibited here. Can't take it in there. Leave it over here. You can grab it when you come out. And in my head, this short ass dude there, I'm like, man, I can just poke you right now. I was like, if I could just a light tap and go to the bathroom. But then they'll pull out their guns and shoot me, so maybe not. And so, yeah, bro, go to the room, go through, go bathroom. My phone is still going. So sneakily, maybe because my dad and some of his ways may have rubbed off on me, I had my jacket. I think it was this vest. And I put my jacket there. And then I'm texting a message on Viber, like, say I'm okay. And as I look up to the counter, this guy is looking at me. He's like this. What are you doing, man? What you doing over there? And I'm like, oh, nothing, man. So, okay, he's eyeing me out the whole time, man. They're confiscating phones.
Yeah.
I go up to the counter and I'm like, hey, I have a connecting flight because I had to go to LAX, then go to San Francisco. I said, I have a connecting flight that I need to board at 3:15. And the guy goes, sorry, man, can't help you. You're going to have to sit here. And I see my passport sitting in their little slot there, and it hasn't been grabbed. They grab every other passport around my passport. The New Zealand passport, I can tell, and they don't grab my passport. And I'm going, why are they missing my passport? It's like right there. It's like, and me and like this African guy, he's like in a suit. He looks slick as. He's been waiting there. So I'm going, hey, brother, how long you been here for? He's like, I've been here for like 5 hours. So he was 5 hours, I was 4 hours. And people are coming in and out, they're going. And by the time I make it to the counter, I'm like, hey, man, I can see my passport there. Why hasn't it been getting? It's like, man, you're going to have to wait. So I'm trying to be patient, trying not to get shot. And then I finally make it to the counter, and I say to the guy, I was like, hey, man. He was like, so what are you here for? And I was like, oh, I'm a singer. I'm here to meet the guy from Boys to Men. He was like, you really a singer? I was like, I really am, man. And he goes, sing something. I was like, yeah, right now? He goes,
after 4 hours, you asked you to sing.
After 4 hours. He was like, sing something.
Good, man.
Yeah, he was like, sing something. I said, bro, I don't really want to sing here, man. Like, there's people here. He goes, nah, man, I just want to, you Boys to Men. Like, he was actually probably the nicest one of them all. But I was like, nah, man, like, I'm not going to sing, man. And he's like, come on, bro. And then I was like, nah, man, I ain't singing. I said, you can follow me on Insta. I'll tell you my handle, but I'm not singing no song for you, man. And then I finally made it out. And LAX is, I don't know if you guys have been to LAX. It's huge. So I had to get a bus to go to the other side. I had to get a bus to go to one of the other sides. Got through. Then I finally made it over to San Fran. And the craziest thing is God's provision, bro. Because I get to San Fran. My mate has, an uncle of his picked me up from the airport, drive me home. And then when I catch up with my mate, and he realized I had to do flights. So I go, hey, bro, I need a flight to go to Vegas and then a flight back. Can you please just let me know the flight and I'll give you the money for it? He organizes all my flights to and from. No charge. He pays for everything. And he goes, hey, I'm heading to Florida. Can you, my assistant's going to drop you off. She's got some money for you. And you go, what do you mean? She gives me money for my trip to Vegas. Then a day before that, I catch up with a cousin who I hadn't seen for many years in Oakland. Downtown Oakland, we go to this Korean barbecue restaurant. And just part of our Fijian thing and our respect for each other is he drops me home. Or he drops me to the airport because I spent the night. As he drops me to the airport, he gives me $500 cash US. So I'm going to Vegas with $1,000 that isn't mine. Like, it's just been blessed. So, like, God's hand in the whole thing was just always there, bro. You know, and then I get to meet Wanya, and just in this presence of singers and amazing vocalists that's just blows your mind, eh? It just blows your mind, you know. You just sit there and you hear them sing. It's just so humble, bro.
Damn.
It all makes sense, man. Like you speak about the prayers
Yeah.
from our grandparents and our parents and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
just being out in your mission to get there, you know.
Yeah.
And just how your faith was sort of there, not there.
Yeah.
But then why it's such a pinnacle in your life, sort of thing,
bro.
you know. Man, that's amazing. That's
It's
a beautiful shit, bro.
It is amazing. It's, you know, like, we've had a lot of people come through the podcast, talk about their stories and their journeys in life.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've always think, like, people sometimes live the perfect life, but they don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think with you're living that perfect life because you're someone that's doing something that you love every day.
Yeah.
You know, you have a family.
Yeah.
And you're doing things for your family. You know, you've learned the lessons you've learned on the way.
Yeah.
You know, all comes back to help you do this trip.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure, bro.
And you give back. You do give back because you give back in your music, and you also give back with the kids that you teach at school.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing the glass of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're giving those lessons
bro.
to the kids because you experience those lessons
Totally, man.
yourself.
Yeah.
Because you recognize through your years everything that you've learned and come back to give you
Totally
what you've got right now. So, man, live the perfect life, bro.
Oh, bro,
You're living it.
Yeah, I'm blessed. Like, you know, like, God's faithful, always there. My wife's amazing. My kids are patient with me, even though I gig and you know, spend a lot of time away, which I've cut back on. But yeah, I'm just really blessed, bro. You know, like, and you know, I'm still a work in progress, still learning. You know, still always keen to learn. Still always keen to be better. Eh? But yeah, that trip, the first time getting to meet him, getting to touch his Grammy. We're sitting in his house, bro. We're at a pool party.
Where's this house? In Vegas?
In Vegas, bro. And he goes, oh, yeah, my neighbor's over there side, man. You might know my neighbor. Anyways, he goes, I got a bus coming to pick you all up from the hotel. So I get into this hotel, it's called Planet Hollywood, and I look across and I'm seeing Bellagio, and I'm seeing the Eiffel Tower. I'm seeing those sculptures and all that sort of stuff. Stuff you see on CSI, you know, in Vegas, which is what I used to watch as a kid. You know, and then I'm just going, I'm here right now. I'm really gutted though. My wife wasn't able to experience it with me, but like, I'm telling all of these amazing things that I'm seeing and experiencing. So a bus comes to pick us up, and the first one, we have a meal at a Italian restaurant just down the road. So we walk down as a group, and the film crew is there and like filming us, like walking down, and we're gonna sit there, man. And as we're sitting there, the bandstand stuff is going back and forth. And then they're like, yo, Juan's coming in. And Wanya walks in, bro. And it's just everything. Everyone just goes crazy, man. And just like, you know, because even for those folks in the States, like they've been to concerts, but to see him, to be able to break bread with him, to be able to be like, yo, man, like, can you pass me the pasta? You know, like, it's just like, bro, stuff that you can't even dream up, eh? You know, and then he comes in and he's so humble, bro. And he's so down to earth and willing to, and he knows you individually, you know, and then he brings out a cake, and on the cake, it's got your handle on the cake in alphabetical order, RW Music, you know, and they know you, they know what you bring, they know what you sound like. That's just mind-blowing. And as we sit there, one person from the room on this side sings a song. Then 4 or 5 from this side join in with the harmonies. Then another one from this side comes in with the harmonies. Another one from this side. And you hear this choir, bro, of just amazingness, bro. Amazingness, bro.
What was the song?
So one of the songs that they did, they did so many, bro, but some of them started off with like, we belong together, and you know that and I'm like, well, I know I say that in front of one. Yeah, you crazy. Hey, you crazy. And then like another one comes up with a gospel song and they're going, for your glory, I will do anything. And I'm like, whoa. And then they're going and just everyone just like doing different songs, and then they're doing Smoky Northwall, like, I need you now. And you're just like, you go from worship to R&B and I'm just going, whoa, this is crazy. And then they go, one of the times that they go, yo, want to hear from Big Ro, man. RW, what you got, man? Want to hear some Johnny Gill, man? And I'm like, whoa, they want me to sing Johnny Gill? Are you serious? And I'm sitting here and Wanya is just behind me. And we share a joke, bro. We share a joke. They do Boyz II Men. And it gets to his part, I think it is the bridge, and he goes, will you love me again like you loved me before? And I'm like, yo, wow, man, you gonna sing something? I'm like, this is your part. And he goes, yo, my nigga, I ain't singing nothing. I ain't eat, man. I ain't singing nothing. I'm gonna eat first. And we just cracked and we're laughing, banter back and forth. And I'm just going, wow, is this real, man? And then I sing my. And he's feeling it. And you get in the BVs come through with all these amazing things. Not even BVs, just getting other people singing, and just back me up. In Vegas, in this little room with 29 of us, bro. And I'm just like, craziness, bro. You get a group photo with him. You get an individual photo with him, And then he's like, oh yeah, the next day, y'all better get up early. Bus is coming at 12 o'clock tomorrow. You're going to come in pool party at my house. But the funniest thing is when we finish eating, we're just like on such a high. He goes, okay, y'all, we're going to go to the studio, man. He goes, so go to the hotel, get changed if you want to get changed. We're going to the studio downtown Vegas to record this song.
Before I heard that passage of what happened,
yeah,
you already won just going over there and like how God's hand made you get there on that mission.
Yeah.
Where I felt like, man, you really won everything, like every award you needed to win. You know what photo it was, man?
Yeah.
When I saw the great Floyd.
Oh, bro.
Yes. I was literally like, looking at my phone, I like threw it down, I was like, oh, and I had a little fake moment, man. Yeah. I was like, that's it, man. Like, you dreamed it. That's there, you're there.
Yeah.
Like, was that at Wanya's house?
So it's
when you met Floyd.
Yeah, so that was later. So we went to we did the eating thing. Then we went to the studio one night, pool party. We had a bit of chill time, downtime, karaoke at his house, pool party, gated community, Kirk Franklin neighbor on one side. I'm like, God damn, like this guy, and then he's just coming out with his shorts and a white singlet and his shirt open like this, man, and and we take a photo together, and then he's just vibing, man, and then we go studio that night, record again. Imagine you trying to get 29 vocalists on one track.
Yeah.
And I was so blessed that in that. Because he said in the room, sorry, I want to get to that. He said in the room, yo, man, we're going to be getting the top 5 or the top 10 that were in the finals. They're going to come and lace up some vocals and I'll put some vocals down. And as I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, that's all good. Like, I don't mind even if I'm doing BVs. And then he comes up and he goes, yo, Big Ro, come on over, man. And I'm going, what? It's like, Come on in the studio. I go in the studio and he shows me my 4 lines that I have to sing on the pre-chorus.
Is that pretty much the whole verse?
And I'm just like, what? Are you kidding me?
But we showing that emotion. We like, yo, all good.
But I know, bro. I wanted to, man. Oh, really? I thought I was doing the verse. I was just like, can I have the whole verse? Just give me one song. Nah, jokes. No, but I was just like, are you kidding me? Because what I heard was the top, like, because I only made semis. He says, well, we want to work on the top 10 or something. They're going to come in and put some vocals down. And And I was like, oh man, I wish I was part of that group. But you know what? Good on them. Like, that's theirs. Even though I don't know these people, but like, I'm still clapping because they get in there. Bro, and then he goes, come in. And he shows me what he wants me to sing. And I'm like, wait, what? He goes, this is what I want you to sing. And other singers are there. And then, so I take a photo of the lyrics. And then he shows me the line that he wants me to sing. And he sings the line that he wants me to sing. And I'm going, what? You are kidding me. You're showing me what you want me to do, and you could easily do that, but you want me on your song? And then he chucks me in the booth, man, and I do a few takes, get my lines done, and I'm just blown away, bro. I'm just blown away, like, that I'm even in that moment, bro. Because I think of all the great artists that he's worked with. I think of his greatness that he has, as a vocalist. And I think of how I'm standing next to royalty right now. And he's going, oh, no. Do this. Oh, try this. A little less this, Or he's just going, yo, man, do you. And I just blown away, bro. To even have that in. I'm coming in, I'm on a high. I'm on such a high that I just got to sing in the booth for him. He critiques me. I don't care if I got it right or wrong, But I got that experience and I hold that.
Man, like off on you just sharing that, it reminded me of the Alessandro fight when he talks about you can just have that one moment, eh?
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what it is. That one moment. It is that one moment, bro. And it's just like, it's so humbling, man. It really is humbling. Yeah, it's just really humbling. And you just can't even put it into words. And then the next day, I think it's like the last day, or maybe I split it up. The last day. And he goes, yo, tonight we're going to be doing some roller skating. So it's like, cool. Like, I'm like, I got 2 left feet. I'm going to try roller skate, but let's go. And I get to the roller skating place and I realize that it's owned. Maybe I realized later that the roller skating rink is owned by Floyd Mayweather. Wow. And then we got our own DJ. The DJ, oh man, the DJ is the man. He is such a cool dude, man. Such a humble guy, and he DJs for like, I think a year ago or 2 years ago, he was the DJ for the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, yeah.
But he's the most humble dude, bro, you'll ever meet. And then there's tacos, there's food that's just all spread out there for us. Everything's free of charge, everything's sorted. And then as we're skating, one of my boys, man, a guy I was close to on the trip, his name is Jason Adamo, awesome singer, bro. And he goes, you guess what I heard? I was like, what? He goes, Floyd's coming down. I'm like, what? I was like, shut up. I was like, funnily enough, I'm actually a Manny fan. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm a Manny Pacquiao fan. But I was like, hey, it's still amazing. It's still like, you're not going to see Floyd, And this is right around the time when he's going to fight, was it Jake or Logan Paul?
Oh, yeah.
So it's one of those, it was that fight. And he's prepping. It's the lead up to it. Bro, and I look and Floyd Mayweather comes in, bro. Tiny as anything. But he comes in and he jumps on the skating rink that I'm on. And he is so fluid on the skating rink, I am mind blown. Back and forth on that thing, too easy, man. Just so good at it, bro. And I'm just blown away. Everyone's blown away. He's got his security there. He's got this massive Senegalese guy that's like, I don't know, 6'9", 6'11", huge dude, man. But my boldness, bro, I was like, I'm gonna get that photo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that photo.
That's a custom mentality right there, man. Just not watch this.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that photo. So then I asked the guys, I'm like, if you guys got a photo, then someone, I'm gonna try and ask someone. Nah, I can't, man. Security. So as we're about to leave, we end up singing a song, and everyone's like, buzzing out at our performance and stuff. And some of our other singers, they have like a more like stand up part. This girl, Liamani Segura, amazing vocalist. She jumps out and leads a song. The Jaina girl jumps up, leads a song, and everyone's just blown away. And we're doing BVs, we're backing up each other. Wanya's singing with us. And as we finish it, we're like saying goodbye to people. And then I look up and I see Floyd. So I just yell out. I was just like, yo, Floyd. can I get a photo, man?
Wow.
I said, yo, Floyd, can I get a photo? And I'm walking up to him. Bro, straight away, his security guards, they come up.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at me like, this guy, what does he want? Like, I'm like, yo, man, I'm a big fan. I'm from New Zealand. I just want to get a photo. And then, his security guard's here. And Floyd's at the back. And I'm like, I want to see Floyd, man. I want to see you.
Yeah.
And then Floyd's like, looks at me, and he's like, yeah, sorry, let him through. Take a photo, bro. And I'm like, take a selfie. And I was the only one on the trip that got the photo.
Also, I was standing on the side of you. Did you see me?
Oh, yeah, that's what I did.
When I saw that, bro, I was like, we made it, man. The
Bro.
QB made it there.
It's one of those, if I could be a
The
fly on the
city.
wall or something.
Yeah.
And that was literally it. That was my conversation with him. It was just, okay, grab a photo. Grab the photo. And I was like, man, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it.
Well,
And then the group's looking at me like, did you just get a photo? And the guy that told me, Jason, I was like, bro, I told you I was going to get that photo. One way or the other, I'm not leaving there without a photo. I don't care if he's got his entourage or whatever. I'm going to ask. Even if, the security tries to hook me or something, I want to go and try and get that photo, man. And he got the photo, and it's just, again, just still in awe of the opportunity that was given, bro. And I stayed an extra night. So I stayed an extra day or night. And I tell Juan and then. And he goes, yo, man, she's like, all right, him and his wife and assistant, they're like, okay, keep your phone handy. We'll try and touch base with you tomorrow. So everyone said their goodbyes. They're flying out that morning. I'm staying an extra night. And then I'm shopping for my kids down Vegas Strip, doing shopping, clothes shopping, Spend like $500-800 or something at Macy's. And then as I'm there, his assistant calls. It's like, hey, what are you up to? What are you doing? I said, I'm just doing shopping for my kids. He's like, okay. Are you able to get back to the hotel by 4:15? So, oh yeah, sure. What's up? He's like, we're sending a ride to pick you up because you're gonna come over to the house. So I'm like, okay. So I get to the house, drop the shopping, come back. They're like, hey, we're here. I was like, oh yeah. I'm just closing up my room, coming down. And as I get downstairs, I'm like, oh okay, where are you guys? And then they're like, oh, we're here, man. We're parked out in front of you, just further down. I was like, where? Malo, in this black Suburban. This black flashy ass Suburban, parked out here to pick me up. Bro, I was like, they see me rolling. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I want to be in one of these cars? Flash ass, blacked out windows, blacked out rims. Open the door. Like, then two of my brothers, man, King Music, and Caleb Menta. Caleb, he's my boy, man. These other amazing artists from the States. And they were already sitting in the car. And I was like, yo, what's up? And they're like, oh, we're going to the house. We're doing the last installment for One Wednesday, the closing show.
oh, wow.
We're doing the closing show. And I'm like, you kidding me? And we do the closing show. I get to sing something. We're asking questions. One's talking to his followers. And we are on Wanya's Instagram live. So not coming in as contestants, but we're on his live where people follow him. And then we're having those conversations. And he goes, oh, yo, man, sing something. Yo, can you sing something? And you can. And I'm just blown away, man. I'm just blown away.
This is a movie, eh?
Bro.
I tell this guy, we'll get some good movies, man. Like, if our guests, they come in and lace these stories.
Yeah.
Like, I would never have thought all the rest of it. Like, I would have just been happy with Floyd and singing and getting across there in one piece.
Yeah.
And just all the blessings that came along the journey there. But to stay the extra night, like, was it even planned?
Yes. So my wife, again, bro, wifey, man, she's organizing all of this from NZ.
Yeah.
So before I fly over, she tells me, okay, baby, you're gonna go do this, have a good time, like make an impact, do what you need to do, and then she's going, oh, and I'm gonna get you an extra day, just to chill.
And that was just casually saying it like that.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, like honestly, man, like what woman in their right mind would let their husband go to Vegas? Everyone knows what Vegas entails. But, and again, it's principles, motivations, what are you there for? What is your goal, right? What is your intentions, and are your intentions true? And are you going to stay true to your intentions when you get to the pinnacle, when you get to the heights that you've never been to? You know? And so I'm just like, you know, just so blessed, bro, that my wife, like, you know, she gave me that opportunity to do that, you know? And so I stayed the extra day. Stay the extra day. You know, do the interview and all that sort of stuff, finish. And then one's like, yo, man, just come chill at the house, man. We're going to chill at the house. So we're chilling at the house. We're chilling at the house watching crime TV. Oh, sorry, that's like a few weeks later, but we're chilling. And we go to dinner. And we're sitting, shouting at dinner. But before we even get into that, as we're sitting about to go to dinner, we get into his Cadillac SUV. And it's me and two of the contestants, two of the boys, and his brother. And he goes, yo, big bro. Come on, man, get in the car. So I'm like, oh, okay, you know the island thing. I was like, no, your brother. He sits at the front. His brother goes, yo, man, you sit at the front, man. And I'm like, no, that's your brother. You have to sit there. I can't sit there. And then Juan calls from the back, yo. He goes, yo, nigga, get to the back. Bro, get your big ass over here. How you gonna fit in the back? Get over here. So he gets me to sit at the front of me. And we go to dinner, bro. And we are cruising through Vegas. I see the arena where they have the UFC fights. Yeah. I see all these things, the football team's arena. And we're cruising through Vegas. And he is playing me songs that have not been released.
Wow.
In the car.
Wow.
And we're vibing and buzzing out. And he's just doing his thing. I'm like recording all of this. I'm literally looking at my phone. I'm going, you know.
Were you like trying to harmonize over some of his tracks?
Oh, yeah, little bits here and there.
Wow.
You know, and we get to experience that, you know, and just, yeah, I'm just humbled, mind blown. God is good.
Wow.
You know, like, just in disbelief at the moment.
Everything sounds like it's coming unexpectedly, like one after the other.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of like you're on a need to know basis, and you only know when it happens.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it sounds frustrating, but it's not. Eh?
Oh, bro, yeah, nah, it's not, man. You know, it's really good. Like that happened the way it did. My only biggest thing for me, and I just like, you know, obviously we got to do another trip last year and my wife got to come along for that one, was that she came on the first trip, like, you know, because it was the first trip, man.
Oh, that's beautiful you said that, bro.
And I told her, like, you would talk every day, and I was gutted she couldn't come, man.
Yeah.
I really was gutted she couldn't make it.
But that was your one moment, you know, you could just enjoy all that happiness, all that surreal feeling, and like, man, you never would have thought, like, who would have thought from leaving Fiji and their mum having the treatment and all of that, that you'd be in his presence, you know, in that place. Exactly, man.
So it's just,
So does your hotline to Wanya you still carry the hotline?
Oh, bro. So we still, it's funny, like, because we still got the chat. So we're always like wishing each other happy birthday, or we had a few people in the group that auditioned for American Idol. You know, some made it to the live shows. Some went for America's Got Talent. One of the boys, Bay Turner, who's amazing, he made it to AGT, so America's Got Talent. Prince TCH, Tobias, he made it to American Idol. And then Jane, American Idol. We had Liamani Segura. She was on the High School Musical Netflix series. You know, so all these guys are doing these big and amazing things, you know, like, and it's just like, so happy that they get in to do what they're doing, man, and just like, you know, advancing themselves, you know, and we're still like cheering each other on, you know. We the chat is still real active. He's in the chat, you know. It's just it's a crazy, it's a surreal thing, and it's just a real something that I'm really grateful for, man. You know, like that happened in 2021, and yeah, people still communicating.
Boys to Men have been here before. They've come to New Zealand for concerts.
Did you go to their concert?
No, I didn't, but I know they've been here. The one he would talk about coming back to New Zealand for concerts?
He loved New Zealand. He told me he loved New Zealand. He didn't. He was saying he didn't like Rotorua. He said, "Man, that's stinky." Man. I don't like. He was, he was, yeah. But he wasn't keen on Rotas. But he just said he loved every show that he got to do in every city here. Yeah, bro.
Damn.
Timeless, they're timeless, those guys.
Bro, they're timeless, and their music will never go like out of date, you know.
My oldest is 21.
Yeah.
In a few years, like if she can hear you sing it and she's like still vibing to it,
bro.
That era of music. Still.
And I guess one last thing that I guess I wanted to say about the trip was finish the roller skating, go back to his house. He's like, you know what, man, let's keep the party going. Let's take it back to my place. Go to his rooftop, and we're just, having a few. I don't drink, so I'm just having my soft drinks and just chilling with some of the families, because some of our contestants were younger, like they're like 13 and stuff, so they came with their dads and mums. That was cool, just, and so we were able to connect on that level and talking to them about my family and stuff like that. And so as we're having this big moment of chatting and talking, and then one comes outside and we're chatting some more, and you're just having this moment, and then you're like, yo, wow, man, sing something. And so we bust out End of the Road. And so we as the contestants, we go, we belong together. And we go, although we've come to the end of the road. And then it gets to his bridge, and he nails the bridge, bro. Like this guy's, his pipes are still killer. And he kills the bridge, absolutely lays it out. And I get this on phone, just standing there right like this, just recording him sing the bridge out and kill it and not miss a note. And I'm just like, wow, this is special, man. This is humbling, like you can't even dream. Like I said before, you can't even dream this up. It's really just a God thing, bro.
Because all of that was captured like bit by bit because you were there, and even when you came back and like some of the boys, because I know it did go off on that chat there. Oh man, does anyone know what's going on with, like when you're over there?
Yeah.
But I always give the spirit flowers, man, for letting us bring the brothers on to share that.
Yeah,
because
bro.
if I can bring the brothers in to wave, the one who waved the KB flag out in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, because that's how strong our brotherhood, I believe, is,
Yeah.
Second to none, man. But even just for you to be blessed with the brother from back home.
Yeah.
To do that for you, man. Like,
Yeah, bro.
it goes to show, like, a lot of high school friendships and memories, and, like, especially your close, you consider kin from school kin. No matter how many years go by, still have that love for one another.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Literally from boys to men.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, from boys to men. Yeah, we were young boys, and
I mean, they were out. Boys to Men were out when I was in high school, junior high school, and they were big, man. Like nearly all the songs influenced our talent quiz, the Waitakere College talent quiz we had all the time. Man, Boys to Men always like going to be on
always
stage.
the flavor, eh?
Always, man. Like,
always the flavor, bro.
Like, who's your favorite out of the? Because my favorite was Sean Stockman.
Oh yes,
he was my favorite.
Yeah,
out of all of them.
Probably Shawnee.
Because I think he was the only one that could sing like the medium, not high, like Wanya.
Yeah. And he had a crazy falsetto, man. Like his falsetto was crazy. No one could do falsetto like him. And that's what, bro. Like, one of the craziest things. I did Crazy Love in one of the heats, right? It was one of the heats, and it was like a battle. If you don't do good enough, the other person makes it through. You don't make it through. And I did Crazy Love, and I just missed out because Brian McKnight had watched the performance before my one. And I was so gutted. And then I think it was one of his family members or his wife. And she was like, dang, if only Brian had seen the battle between Roland and Lakeisha, this other, awesome artist, man. And we sang Crazy Love. They, just battled each other on that song. And even to hear that, like, wow, man, like, because they're pretty much like neighbors, and they live close to each other. They hang out all the time. Just so many crazy moments, bro.
Man. So now you're back after your trip and that. You're back in New Zealand because Because what's happening now with your singing career now? Like after that, like that would have pushed you up there even more.
Yeah, it was.
Hmm.
It was definitely a stepping stone, and it's awesome, you know. And I guess like the big thing for me, like I've always said, is no matter what heights you make it to, you know, your feet are still on the ground. You know, it doesn't make you any sort of more valuable than someone else or whatever it is. You're still the same person, and I'm still the same person. So come back and pretty much the same, you know, like, you know, working hard at a job and sort of stepping away from the gigging thing. And that was a decision that I made. I think it was like when I was 30, so I think 21. Yeah, 2021. I made the decision to step away from the music. I wanted to focus on my family a lot more, and just focus on church, you know, and giving it back to God, like giving Him all my time and attention. So just been focusing on church and that, and then just trying to work on some original stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that for me now is my focus. It's just the originals that I got.
Oh, because that's original. Did you get inspired to do those because of your trip?
Yes. So that was part of it.
Because now you're writing music.
Yeah. That I think the trip sort of like, the trip sort of added to it. So it was always like something like I'm not like, you know, they call it your pen game, like your writing game. I would not say that I'm the best at it, but I want to try and get better at it, you know. And so that sort of pushed me to want to be better and write.
Nice.
And yes, I've been doing it. So it's funny, a lot of the songs that I have, I've pretty much written verses, choruses, and bridges for them. It's just a matter of finishing it up, getting the vocals tidied up, and, you know, a bit of me procrastinating as well, you know. But yeah, so that's my focus at the moment.
And tune into some of these, like the 1 through 5 episodes, man. Sure, that will help their procrastinating thing out a lot. Yeah, just by listening to them back, man.
Yeah,
I don't. Man, fuck, man, I'm buzzing out of your story.
Sure, bro. No, thank you,
it's
man.
Like, wow, I can't believe it. I'm sitting opposite the guy that shook Wanya's hand.
Bro, I mean, I'm trying to see if I can find a photo, but...
Did you put your arm around Floyd's shoulder when you took the photo?
He's wearing gold and black hair.
I think so.
Bro, and he's got a TNT hat. I was like, dang.
Let me try and find it. Let me see if I can find the photo. There's a photo of Juan and I together. It's here. It's crazy. Like, just, you know, just to be in his presence, to be able to just rub shoulders with him, you know, to have him give me advice as well, and like tips on writing and some of the things that you don't really notice.
Because what is he doing now? Is he... Boys to Men still... They're
still doing shows, eh?
Doing shows?
They're still doing shows, yeah. They still...
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They still... still in Vegas, just all around. Like, I think because COVID opened stuff up, so they're doing that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this. Yeah, but they're doing big stuff, you know, like doing all their concerts and stuff, and, you know, their pipes, they still got their pipes, man, you know, like there's like it doesn't really show it, but like so like
you can tell in America, like you make it if you make it in music or movies or any form of entertainment they've got there, because that's your life sorted, or sports, you know. Your life sort of sorted with the, because, you know, One is popular with Boys to Men. Boys to Men is a popular group.
Yes.
But they haven't been for a while.
Yeah.
But they're still, you know, he's still got what he's got. Like,
definitely, man. And I think, you know, like, because the difference in their music is that it's timeless. So it doesn't, like, people know it, and it doesn't go out of time, you know, like, compared to music these days. But yeah, like, you know, like, he can still kick it on the mic, man. Like, jumps on the mic and it's just, you know, the same thing, effortless.
Then it puts it in perspective, like, with Babyface, because he's the one that wrote most of those songs. Yeah. Think of all those royalties he's getting, you know?
Bro, man. Totally. It'd be crazy in itself, like, that he's, you know, he's that, you know, he's able to get the royalties for his hard work that he's put into that. Yeah. You know?
I love the way Babyface does arrange his tracks there, because some of the keys that he uses there, like if you can play the notes on the piano, but even when you play them on guitar, you're like, wow, that's how you know they're his ballads. Man, surely you gotta end this with a little verse.
Yeah, sure, man. What you want to hear?
Take us out.
Is there particular?
I think just hearing you talk about your wife and her support for you, like, and helping you grow as a individual.
Totally.
Man, you got to do the love will keep us alive.
Yeah, bro. Oh,
Because that's
for
what
sure.
I felt like. Your share tonight has sort of just brought out.
I
Exactly.
definitely will, bro.
Exactly.
I love that song too, eh? So just like you want just a verse of that?
Whatever this you're feeling right now is, man. Because the episode is yours. And before we end, I just want to say thank you very much, and thank you for baby for bringing that down, and allowing him to come and lace one of the KB back in the 135 editions, and thanks to Kems as well for just allowing me that window to bring the brothers in.
Yeah.
And like I've said to you, man, like, the relationships and the friendships, the brotherhood that we build through those gates, like our struggle, we all struggle the same.
Yeah.
Different era, different years, and I love that. We can go however many months and years. And still, like, even if I saw you at Manhattan, you shared us at that service. It's like, it just felt like it was the other week. And those are the friendship and brotherhood, sort of relationships that you never sort of feel like, they don't need maintenance, because, they're going well. So, no, thank you very much also.
No, bro.
Nah,
I appreciate it. Now, thank you for, obviously giving me the opportunity to come on. Letty, I appreciate it. And Cam, thank you for your time and your house and your space, and just for welcoming in myself and my daughter, just into this space. It's a real blessing, eh? And I definitely don't take it for granted, whatever opportunity I'm given. So just really grateful, man. And I guess I hope with this as well, I hope it inspires someone to dream big and to know that there's greatness in all of us, and we can always strive to reach for bigger and better things, but then at the same time, having a firm foundation, and knowing that for me, God's been so good and so faithful, and that's what's allowed me to do what I'm able to do. And obviously with the support of my loving wife, Tanya, that's been massive, that's a journey into this space, and do what I do, man. Sure,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. So you want me to get straight into it? All right. Here goes. All right. I was standing all alone against the world outside. You were searching for a place to hide. Lost and lonely, now you've given me the will to survive. When we're hungry, love will keep us alive. I would die for you, climb the highest mountain. 'Cause my baby, there's nothing I wouldn't do. Yeah. And I was standing all alone against the world outside. And you were searching for a place to hide. Lost and lonely, now you've given me the will to survive. When we're hungry, love will keep us alive. And when we're hungry, love will keep us alive. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yo, bro.
Thank you for coming, also.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me.
You have a good week.
Yo.
Oh, before we go, do you want people to find you on Instagram?
Oh, bro, sure. If they want to, man. Hey, I'm only on Instagram. People trying to get me to do TikTok. Maybe, I don't know if I should. Gotta be careful, information. But so I'm on Instagram, and my handle is just RW, all lowercase, .music. And you find me on there. Feel free to DM me if you if you need me for events and stuff like that. whatever events you're having, feel free to let me know on there. You know, you can communicate and talk with the boss, which is my wife, my manager, and she can and she can liaise and talk, do the hard graft, you know, talk money with her. But yeah, so Instagram rw.music. That's me.
All right, brother.
Level, my bro.
Thank you, bro.